right, so people in my Discord.
Oh, you have a Discord you haven't told us about yet.
There it is. Haha.
I have a whole folder on my Discord called Corbinian Games.
It's the generic Discord that was part of a group I was part of called the Maritime Multiverse, and it just kind of wheedled down to me eventually. So it's just me who holds on to it now for announcing when I'm doing things.
Yeah, so you know, just let me pull up Twitch.
Oops, pops a bad chat in front of me. Someone might talk crap. Not about me, about
Why
you
would
guys.
they do that?
Damn, yes. There we go. I can see myself. Well, stream. Anyway. Hello, everyone. I'm AD Springer, also known as Corbinian. This is the Electric Metropolis video game tour. And tonight, or whenever you're watching this, we are playing Star Trek Adventures, and we are playing in our ongoing campaign of Halanak Station, using the 2d20 system by Modiphius. And it is going to be a 2-threat game, and I'm going to hand the log to the Admiral. I have a bit of brief there. If you want to expound based on what you know from your briefing, feel free. But stardate is correct. The stardate in the summary is correct, not in the briefing. I have the wrong stardate in. My bad.
Got it. All right. Rear Admiral's log, stardate 60755. The briefing from Starfleet Command that I've received has highlighted critical threats in the Shackleton Expanse, Breen privateer activity, and the ongoing Klingon Civil War spillover effects, alongside the Klingon traditionalist operations in the region. Halanak Station must bolster her defenses, enhance reconnaissance, and prepare for potential instabilities. I'll be presenting our strategic response to the Admiralty Advisory Committee, emphasizing the need for additional resources and support. Additionally, I am awaiting an update from Harmonizer Kovic on a specific threat targeting Halanak Station. End log.
Back to Upantar we go. To Halanak Station. And to the Advisory Committee, where I will say one bit of good news. You do have a pretty good grasp on the project that formed this committee in the first place, which was the building of the otherwise unnamed NX build. The resources are there, the people are coming, all that's going on. However, your fleet, Rear Admiral Thralic does not have a Halanak fleet formed yet, and might not get one. Is soon to be assigned one, or given the option to build one, but that has not come to pass, and currently there is a fair amount of intel that Kovic and Rylef have gathered. Intel that Kovic in particular has received recently. Carpenter's the most aware of the last emergency mission that Thralic was not a part of, didn't see the end of. And of course, currently Captain Haifa is sitting on the council, currently shift of priorities for the... and to round off, I will say that currently Ensign Ven is part of the research group that is looking into the Savixcast inheritor facility that was found, trying to really dial in exactly what it does, exactly what it can do, trying to make sure it's secure and safe, along with and he's working in concert with the FIDF. But he's not present. Right. I will note that Real Trailblazer had intended to speak with you, Thralic, but by the time you came out of your briefing and learning what you could from Starfleet Command and the Vice Admiral, he rescinded his request at that point. He didn't say why. He just simply said he no longer needed to meet.
Interesting.
Burned.
Burned indeed.
But the Victoria is still here. But he is due to leave sometime soon, rejoin his fleet.
Sounds good. All right. Harmonizer Kovic, if you could bring us up to speed on the threat to Halanak Station.
This is a brain operation, right, GM?
Insight security, difficulty 2. Maybe more to this information.
Okie dokie. Difficulty 2, so take a threat for 3 dice.
Cool.
Observation for a focus.
I'd say so, yeah.
Okay. How about a trait of intuitive?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so that lowers it to 1. Okay, so looks like I gain 1.
Do you know from your experience outside of the papers that you're reading and the documents, that there is the specter of influence the last few weeks and months of a group known as the Typhon Pact?
Right.
This may be an extension of what that is, merely because it's the expense it would take for the Breen to deploy on the opposite side of the galaxy around Romulan space, which is rather contentious, and Federation space, which is that is not a minor.
Right.
Either the Breen are all in on this, and this is their next big play, or this may be a smaller play with investments from an outside, a third party. This could be a Breen only operation. It's just if it is, that means entire Breen government's backing it.
Right.
Which is what Intel kind of thinks is going on, because that makes most sense to them, but you know more than they about the local situation.
So yeah, I've posted the intel I got in the Discord chat, and there's a link to it right above. It's my second to last post from today, so everybody can look this over. Kovic kind of runs it down. It is a well-planned, multi-part, multi-phase campaign with the objective to neutralize Halanak Station's capacity to aid combat areas in the region and disrupt strategic operations from Halanak Station as kind of a point of operations for the Halanak Agreement and Starfleet and the FIS in this part of the Shackleton. I find it pretty comprehensive, actually. In Starfleet intelligence seems to think that this is an all-in assault by the Breen themselves. While that's possible, I personally think that what we may be seeing here is, I don't know if I want to put my money on this being the first such operation, but an operation by the Typhon Pact seems to make more sense. That would, if the Breen were doing this by themselves, I think that would be too many resources and too many, forget what the government of the Breen is, but their entire government and military structure would have to be behind this plan, and this is a massive throw of the dice this far from their usual area of influence. So I'm leaning to this being a Typhon Pact operation. I have no idea of the timing of this. I think we have to assume that this operation has already begun, particularly phase 1, the infiltration for recruiting and inserting operatives and intelligence gathering and reconnaissance. The sabotage execution, I doubt has happened yet because we would have noticed. One hopes, anyway. But this is a really solid plan. The Stavanger did us a favor by alerting us to this.
Well,
Says the character.
well, I have to ask, do we have any idea what the Breen's end goal here is? Or not the Breen, the Typhon Expanses. What is their long-term plan? Are they after specifically dominating this area of the Shackleton, or are they just trying to sow discord in the Federation?
Well, if you look in their exit strategy and follow-up operations, their objectives there are sowing confusion among our crew and probably the signatories of the Halanak agreement and the Water Federation, broadcast false information about leadership and the nature of the sabotage, suggesting internal betrayals. So, I mean, ultimately, their objective is Starfleet, as I understand Starfleet's plans. Halanak Station will become a kind of forward operating base for exploration and other operations of Starfleet in this region of the Shackleton. GM, correct me that I'm wrong. Are there any other Starfleet staging areas this far out?
There is the colony that is one sector forward of you. That's where Project Enduring Friendship is.
Yep. This Halanak is also essential to supporting Operation Enduring Friendship. More than likely, there will be some sort of fleet element stationed based out of Halanak Station. The station is poised to become a forward base of operations in a very major way in the next 5 years, starting very soon. So if they can prevent that and throw this situation into chaos, and keep the signatories of the Halanak Agreement and Starfleet from establishing such a base of operations, or delaying that, then they provide themselves a much greater freedom of action in this space. And I would assume that the ultimate idea is to be in a position to present Starfleet with a fait accompli by the time they manage to reorganize. My suspicious nature, and I have zero intel on this, but I would not be shocked to discover that the Typhon Pact may have something to do with the Klingons falling into a shooting war with each other, and perhaps even have been encouraging the ongoing Romulan civil war for their own ends as well. If they can shake up the Federation, even in this sector, by sowing disunity and suspicion, then the entire Alpha and Beta quadrants are vulnerable.
It is worth noting that of the powers that repelled the Dominion from this side of the galaxy, only the Federation is not embroiled in a civil war at the moment.
Well, us and the Typhon Pact, apparently.
The Typhon Pact didn't fight the Dominion. So
Yes, but I mean they are the other major power not in civil
Right.
conflict. No, this is not a great situation to be in. The idea that they are helping sow chaos in other parts of the galaxy is concerning, but it is worth considering that many of these conflicts emerge from long-standing structural issues. So it's
Fair
possible
enough.
they are also merely exploiting the misfortune of others.
Oh, fair enough, but that's what you do when you're looking to destabilize something. You find the structural weaknesses and you attack there and let things fall apart of their own weight.
That's true.
Currently, Starfleet intelligence and command believe that this is a Breen privateer-based move. I'm inclined to agree with the harmonizer that it is most likely that this is in association, at least, with the Typhon Pact, as we've seen the beginnings of their operations in this region for some time. And it would make sense for the Breen perhaps to be a prime sponsor for these activities. And I'm going to hand out a pad that has the information from Starfleet Command.
Oh no.
More text for everyone to read.
I'm gonna start demanding that Corby and author do these as like voiceovers.
An audiobook? Yeah, well, but when
Yeah,
when
yeah.
the campaign's over, we'll bundle them all together and sell them as an audiobook.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Hey, I do it, but then people would ask me, "So what did you say again?" Like, no, here's the notes. Just read.
That's when you
No,
do some
no, no, no.
research.
I know why. I know why. It's because we need to reconfirm them. But
I know. I'm just giving you crap.
Okay, it's on supply.
As you should, yeah. Um,
And reminder: the Starfleet, the start date's wrong. It should be the current mission start date document. I
yeah.
screwed that up.
yeah,
And I didn't
sometimes
correct your
pads are a little
mistake.
bit slow to update. It happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Kovic, should I add, in addition to this report, the information on what we found in our own encounter? Or do you
I
not
think
see that as relevant?
I think it's definitely relevant.
Yeah, Carpenter's ears kind of pick up, and she says, "Oh, and what did you discover?"
We
Nod to the
encountered a
Centurion.
Breen vessel while we were on our own tasking in state space, or at least two state space. We were unfortunately intercepted by Telchian forces and had to find alternative transport. Our option fell to a Breen vessel. That Breen vessel had the objective, which we technically completed, of acquiring a Federation researcher's research, or acquiring the researcher themselves, and we didn't give them the researcher. And the research may be somewhat flawed for the purposes that they actually wanted to use it for. Oops. Anyway,
So these Breen privateers, uh, bearing that in mind, may well have more specific targets, and their uh, raids on supply convoys and isolated colonies may actually be the larger part of the raids cover for specific intel gathering activities.
And this
At
this is
green
least in
vessel,
some
was it
cases.
a Confederacy naval ship or a privateer ship?
It
I thought
appeared to
Vascan's told us
be
that.
a highly advanced vessel with significant stealth capabilities. If they were privateers, they were uh, wearing their Breen naval uniforms underneath uh, their cloaks, as it were.
A very close alliance, at the very least, then.
Mm.
But their ultimate goal of where they would do this attack was at an isolated station right at the fringe of Federation space. I
I
imagine if that
believe we
had happened, it would
I
be a
believe we
similar
did get
story.
uh, technical data on the Breen vessel.
Oh, yes.
Well, if you were able to spy on them as much as they spied on us, then I guess we can consider it a draw.
Eh,
In fact,
Still,
this data we gathered has already been used by Lieutenant Venn.
Still, I must say it is pretty deeply worrying that they have so successfully infiltrated the space of the Romulans, and does not bode well for how much they have infiltrated the space of, say, the Klingons as the Klingon Empire becomes more unstable, or the Shackleton.
Oh, they were not in Romulan space. I doubt we would be able to find a Federation researcher there. It was
Excuse me.
an interesting border area.
mm. But they knew exactly what Federation chartered liner this scientist was aboard, and exactly when and where it would be in an area of space, a very small, relatively speaking, area of space uh, that was kind of international waters, to use an old term,
And
where
seemed
no one.
confident.
That does suggest that whoever our opponent is, they have significant infiltration of either Starfleet or Federation personnel as well.
Some means of data harvesting.
That or their crews are simply very skilled.
Mm.
Either way, it provides an opportunity to go hunting. We have lots of unorganized, unrecognized space nearby, and the ability to send out priority Starfleet messages. We could provide them with an opportunity to intercept another research freighter that just happens to look a lot like the Da Vinci.
Get me more solid plans on this, and I'll look them over, Captain. I think taking a proactive action here is the right move, and if we can set up a trap, I would love to move forward with it.
That is, if the personnel involved in intercepting and finding specific priority targets on ships such as that are the same rather than separate to whatever operation is going to be going on Halanak Station. I say there's a good chance they're separate. Related, but separate.
Well, that's the thing about fishing operations. You don't always catch what you intend, but you usually catch something.
Sometimes it's a shark.
Regardless, the USS Da Vinci's patrols of the immediate sector will be increasing, so they should be spending more time away from Halanak Station, which serves as a good opportunity to execute such a trap if we wish to.
I will note that the interest seems to be in quantum drives and maneuvers.
Mm.
As such, if they do find the true nature of the Da Vinci anyway in this trap, they may simply send a larger force to attempt capture, or simply the retrieval of its engineering staff to learn what they can from them. Which would be a big move, admittedly.
Well, if half a dozen Klingon warships can't manage it. I doubt the Breen have something that can.
You can believe that, Captain.
Music is so tense.
I know.
Um, I'm just trying to think. Is there anything we can do? GM, this is, I guess, like a request. Is there anything I can think of that we could do to overhaul patrol or scanning or anything else like that to have any greater chance of detecting green ships?
Well, they might also be green.
It's probably be a then task, but
Inside engineering difficulty 3. Con could work here as well.
focus in organization, because this would involve the organization of a lot of things, of ships and probes and sensors and whatnot.
I see what you're saying, yeah.
All right. 1 momentum, 2 threat. Okay. It's a pretty good roll considering I was rolling 12, but I'll take it.
You generate. There are known stratagems to deal with cloaked vessels, and they are far more effective against mere slim sensor silhouette vessels. Basically, you blanket a sector or target area or area of operations, whatever its size, with ships and probes and shuttles, and create a sort of net. Now, you're not really expecting, because space is 3-dimensional, let's not be ridiculous. You can't literally blockade people from going past you. If they see you, they just go around you. The trick is making sure that you have such a great sensor profile looking out, such a small energy output showing where you are, that you see them before they see you. With cloak vessels, that's a lot harder. Picard's task force during the Klingon Civil War was intensely lucky. That honestly shouldn't have worked. But with slim silhouettes, if you place them in the right spot, you're great. The problem you suffer currently is just sheer lack of ship power. You don't have enough ships.
That's what I was thinking.
To unless you basically fielded every small craft you could, and then dumped a bunch of probes and hope, and basically drew a big fishing net of sorts to scoop along or scrape along a certain body of space.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I assume the work on the current NX prototype is not going to be done in the next few weeks. We're looking at like months of work.
Somewhere along there, yeah. You're looking at maybe it should be done within about 2 months at current speed. Maybe faster if the new engineers get some breakthroughs, but you're looking at at least 2 months.
So let me ask you this then: is there anything that I could do off of this information could we present this information to Starfleet Command to be like, hey, we need more ships deployed here?
You would need to present it. Actually, you would present a plan to Rear Admiral Thralic, and Rear Admiral Thralic could requisition ships to her mission in advance of her formation of the Halanak fleet. Basically, it's normally when an admiral is assigned a fleet, it's assigned to them as part the same way a captain is assigned a ship. There's a whole bureaucratic process to it. But in an emergency, you can kind of cobble together a task force very quickly. It gets a lot harder to choose your superstar ships that way, but you can get a fleet together relatively quickly. So it's possible. You could formulate something that Thralic could push to the Admiralty.
Then, yes, at that point, then Carpenter will say, we could put greater efforts into using ships to create a sensor net to better protect the space we are assigned to, but it would require a greater number of ships than we currently have access to. And considering the NX prototype is months away, I recommend we attempt to requisition ships from Starfleet Command to better protect our space.
To put something opposing that, their infiltration method does not suggest their own ships would be used at all, let alone Breen. Instead, it would be, to my guess, and feel free to disagree with me here, personnel that are of known and relatively common species, arriving through expected and low-profile methods of trading vessels, civilian liners, and that sort of thing, who would then work within the station to, as it suggests, find disgruntled or compromised personnel, which may be FIS or Federation.
Yes, Centurion, I don't have any doubts that there are personnel aboard who have been compromised and that they may even be deploying more personnel, but we know that there is Breen privateering activity around us in the Shackleton, and we know that they have to communicate the data they acquired some way to the Breen, which I think means they are very likely transmitting and send any data they find through subspace to slim sensor silhouetted ships in the nearby area. And if we were able to successfully impound any privateering vessels under the work of the Breen, or the Typhon Expanse, I should say, then impounding them and interrogating their crew would grant us more information.
I'm not confident of that, given the contingencies for detection that this plan lays out and the propensity of previously encountered Breen personnel to attempt suicide rather than accept capture.
Fair enough.
Momentum. I can point something out.
Go ahead.
Currently the you recall a log that the scavenger, it might be in the works or may have already accomplished, it's unclear, the capture of Breen personnel, and may be in the midst of interrogating who they have. The specifics you don't know because the log is very terse and abrupt, the bare minimum that Starfleet regulation requires. The Scavenger's very light. But you kind of piece together that that's something. You remember that when you think about their logs.
Well, if the crew of the Scavenger was able to capture Breen alive, then I have no doubt that the crew of the Halanak Station Agreement would be able to capture some alive.
Quite possibly. Possibly.
And it was merely one suggestion. If there are alternative ideas, I would love to hear.
My thought was more that it is focusing the effort elsewhere, where the contingency that they do have for detection specifies whatever they have achieved on the station will be carried out. So we may wish to make sure they cannot carry out anything on the station.
Agreed. Harmonizer Kovac, do you have any plans you've come up with since you've had this information longer than I have?
Well, it's going to be tricky.
Of the station?
It's going to be tricky. Anything we do overtly will tip our hand early, and while it will cause them perhaps to act before they're completely ready, I would say we risk at least moderate, if not severe, damage to some systems on the station. So whatever we do is going to have to be carried out with under the auspices of normal operations, or drills or something along those lines. I think one region that we might be able to take some positive and powerful steps in is counter intrusion on computer systems. I believe Liaison Rylov, Centurion Rylov, has some computer specialists among his staff. I'm sure that there are also some among Starfleet, and I'm not a terrible hand with security systems and myself. That was where I was planning to start.
Great. Centurion Rylov, would you be willing to extend your assistance to the Harmonizer in this effort?
Of course.
Thank you.
There is, of course, another matter that we were both able to discover, but without the presence of Lieutenant Venn, and given the present situation, it can wait.
Kind of give a look, then just nod. All right.
Our biggest ace up our sleeve is currently is potentially the Aquarius. I know we don't understand its full capabilities, but certainly the enemy knows even less than we are. And if there's any way that we can swing that in our advantage, I think it's worth considering.
As long as it does not jeopardize the FIS's continued stability, yes.
Yeah, but this sabotage plot does that.
It does it to less of a degree than sending Upantar into a state of environmental uncertainty, however.
Fair enough, but talk about something that might be able to look into some places that we can't. But in any event, I'd recommend recalling Lieutenant Venn ASAP.
I believe he should be returning somewhat shortly, but was not able to make this meeting.
As an aside, I'll note that the Unaneros is because they're helping support his mission.
Okay. Captain Haifa, if you could have patrol routes for the USS Da Vinci in local sector space, as well as a preliminary plan for an entrapment maneuver on my desk by tomorrow.
I will nod.
Very good. Now, is there anything else we need to go over? All right then, dismissed.
Admiral, I'm going to request for directives and what the current Admiralty focus is.
Absolutely. Started writing those up.
Abso-fraggin-lutely.
Deal away one momentum. Scene of that meeting end.
Sabotage, sabotage, and sabotage.
Yeah.
Beastie Boy.
I know that our Admiralty focus is going to be strategy and tactics, at least.
As that scene ends, I have to roll for forces not present.
Is there a bomb under the chair, under the table the whole time that we didn't notice?
God, I hope so.
Oh, it'd be funny.
My difficulty 4.
Take that. Force is not present.
We don't know. They could
One.
have a 15.
3 hits on a difficulty 4. I made no progress. That's unfortunate.
Right, I need to check my standings and see if those are still good. Where are my standings?
They took a seat for a second, sorry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, fine. There we go. Cool. Standing directions are good to stay.
Directive 1, destroy all pirates. Directive 2, destroy all pirates.
Directive 3, destroy all pirates.
Emphasis on the all.
Yeah.
So if I catch anyone who illegally acquired a copy of a holo novel without paying the author,
You must destroy them.
okay.
All.
Just
Or you
wanted
get
to
it
clarify.
down.
Unless
Or-
it was authored by a hologram, in which case it's not piracy because they're not people.
Yeah, well, you know.
Look, I have a character who's working very hard on that right now. I think they might be people.
You think they might be people? You're sitting on the fence on this issue?
All I'm saying, you've made the machine in an image of a man. The Orange Catholic Bible has it out for you. Put your hand in the fucking box.
Don't mind the ladies in the funny hats. They're here to help you. No, really.
Right. We're from the Bene Gesserit, and we're here to help.
See, one of the titans that would doom humanity is also known as Haifa, you see, the great
Right,
shipbuilder.
right.
I don't know, I think, yeah. And that raises an interesting question of, do the Bene Gesserit accept hologram women? I guess not, because they do
I don't think so.
the anti-AI, but even if it
Yeah.
wasn't,
Also, like they care so much about, like, manipulation of bloodlines and stuff, and I don't think a hologram can do that
Right.
necessarily.
Oh, with the right tools.
Holographic blood.
Holographic blood.
they're
Holographic
anti-hologram, but they're
ovaries.
definitely pro-vampire. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't need to
Working on
manipulate
a directive
bloodlines.
3. Actually, I need a directive 3 here. I don't know if I do. Double checking.
Makes you all feel better. The other ships are having their own problems with the whole strategic issue, shall we say.
Mm-hmm. I think we're just going for 2 directives here.
I have a mail order delivery to the Stavanger.
Oda
It is
would
a
be
pipe
available
bomb.
to guest star to really throw some wrench in things if you need it.
Oh, that would be
Just
fun.
putting it out there.
That would be fun.
Because things are going so smoothly right now, what the story really needs is more
It's just a
wrenches.
wrench. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Right.
The story is primarily wrenches, I believe, right
It's
now.
an incredibly violent wrench, but it
Right,
does solve
yeah.
problems.
All right. So, in this new scene, who wishes to get some movement and operations underway?
Sure.
Go ahead.
I would like to see if I can work with Commander Carpenter on using the prototype once repaired to act as a one-ship sensor net. And to do that, because it does not have a limit on its jump capability, that basically I would think, for detecting ships that do not have quantum slipstream capability that have to travel by warp, we would jump once every half hour, scan, jump to another point, scan, and then triangulate our own scans, because the ship can be in so many different places in a short period of time, that you put a bunch of junior officers on there and send them out for a week, and they basically just jump around the Shackleton 30 minutes at a time in shifts.
Or even you put an 8-hour shift to junior officers, and at the end of the shift they go back to Halanak Station, and then we swap off and they come back. No, I really like this plan. It's like, it's like when the Flash moves so fast, it looks like there's a bunch of him. We're just, if we go so fast, hopefully it can be a one-man armada or one-ship armada.
You're not going to be able to fight them, but you might be able to find them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, finding them is the important thing here, because they're being criminals.
Mm-hmm.
If we get engaged, then we deploy the Da Vinci.
Yeah. I think this is a cool plan.
All right. So, to organize this operation, I'm going to say, put it to you this way. Are you just focusing on the Halanak sector itself? Sorry, I'll show you what I mean. You mean, actually, I'll even go further out. Over here. So this is the this whole area here is the current sector that is the Halanak sector for shorthand. Basically where Halanak Station is, and then the FS and all that. I'll note that Enduring Friendship is over this way. I believe they're around here. And the Scavenger's somewhere in these 4 sectors.
And do we have a location for where we've had known sightings of green pirates, or are they just all around? Okay, so they're everywhere. Okay.
See if
They're coming out of the expanse, man. They're freaking everywhere.
Those are so far from Green Confederacy's base.
Yeah.
I mean, the Shackleton is very far from them in general, so.
Yeah.
There are more that way, but I'm noting stuff that's close to you.
Yeah.
Relevant to us.
Because anything past Deep Space 6 is Deep Space 6's problem.
Yeah, okay, so here's a question, right? Are we getting pings over here and over here because that's where we have ships and stations that know to detect them? Or are we getting pings over here and there because that's actually where they are focused? Because it's entirely possible they have people up here or over here that we're just not detecting because there aren't ships in that area.
Most federational resources are about here, and some Klingon presence is out here. Then there's, of course, that mission, and then there's the generic scavenger mission in this area. So a lot of this is just straight up. Most of the Shackleton is uncharted and unsettled by Federation. So a lot of these are stuff like are ships reporting to. These sightings are reports to either Starbase 173 or to the Project Enduring Friendship security staff, and then they're passing it along. This one's Stavenger's baby. They have to swap out from the original Stavanger to the Stavanger A, which is a Sovereign, if I'm not mistaken, to basically clean house to prepare this area for colonization effort. Just that they've been running into this weird surge of activity.
So there has not been any activity reported on ships traveling from the Federation to Halanak?
Nothing on the direct line, yeah, because there would be a sort of supply route sort of thing like this, because everything would be going to Narendra first and then out to you. That's kind of why they're having Enduring Friendship has a problem. They don't really have the closest support they have is 173. But 173's mission is the Romulan space, not the Shackleton. And 123 is more about maintaining this neck between them and Narendra and the Klingon space. And Narendra's the only one pointed at Shackleton.
So
well, 152 does as well. That's why 152 is supporting the Stavanger.
I would say then we should probably focus on this corridor up here, these sectors, because this seems to be the most important route that's under threat. But if you disagree, Winchester, we can do somewhere else.
Yeah, I think we'd start here, and then move on.
Sounds good to me.
And then I think the second half of that component, right, is keep the Da Vinci at Halanak on like a 30-minute alert or whatever, so that if anything suspicious is seen, because although the shuttle can get to places, it's still bound by interstellar limits on communication, but they could jump back to Halanak and then use even primitive methods to talk to us really quickly, and then we could jump out to what they saw. So it'd be like, you're never going to be able to catch anything in an instant, but hopefully it's like if they spot something, then they can get the Da Vinci to deploy there in less than an hour. Kind of be the hope.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable to me. So, yeah, well, I assume we'll make a roll for this to come up with this plan of organization, and then send it to Thralic for approval, because this does kind of mean we're not just using the shuttlecraft, we're also occupying the one primary capital ship she has under her control.
All right. I say this would require extended task of reason command. And the station or Da Vinci can assist with computers plus command, because you'd probably not just doing it on the back of a pad off the top of your head. You're using sources around.
Mhm, mhm.
And this undertaking, I will say, will be for it to be organized in such a manner as to almost certainly bear fruit and not just leave gaps that will allow something to slip by.
And just give a bunch of ensign duty hours as they teleport from empty space to empty space over and over again.
We're gonna say work 25, magnitude of 5. Resistance is 4, mostly because you're talking about uncharted space, so there's a lot of having to account for weird weather patterns, normal traffic, other such things that they have to kind of bleed out of their scans and go, okay, what here is actionable, what is useful? Because otherwise they might do a scan of a massive bloom of area and just miss what they're looking for entirely. If you don't give them thorough instructions, like, no, do this, if this, then that, you kind of have to give them a lot of if-else statements in their directives so they know exactly what they're supposed to do without you having to babysit them the whole. And difficulty of 5. So and this is also accounting for the fact that you are trying to assemble this in a rapid enough manner that it's useful to you, because eventually with time this will work. Like, eventually you'll see something because you have the means to do it, but you want to get information sooner rather than later. You want to get it before a new Halanak fleet is assembled or this sabotage operation goes. I will give you two cracks at the can at this, and then I'll swap over to someone else and then come back to you. If you want another crack at the can, you can spend 2 momentum to say that you're working extra hard, you're pulling in extra people off of Halanak Station or Da Vinci to go, hey, check over these notes, triple check them, let's talk to a specialist on this topic to help fill out the gaps that we may have missed, because,
Alright,
that sort of thing.
Winchester, I'm rolling a 16, and I probably have to focus on this.
I'm rolling a 14, but I might have a focus, but I'm really confident I have a trait.
Okay. And I have the advisor talent, so I can assist you, and you get free reroll from that. So why don't you take the first crack?
Then GM a determination on Directive 1.
Yes.
Focus in strategy and tactics.
I don't know if that applies. Yeah, no, it doesn't.
Okay. The trait of project manager.
Yes. Resistance or diff?
Does it do 1 or 2 resistance?
1.
Then diff. Is any part of this going to represent us actually doing the plan, or is this all formulating the plan?
It's all formulation. Once the plan is formulated properly, it's kind of like an engine that you're building. It will run itself. The staff will get the mission. A well-crafted mission means a sure success for your junior officers.
All right, then a trait of well-drilled crew on the Da Vinci, because we can exceed normal planning because we have the crew that can handle it.
I'll take that, yeah. Especially since you can pull from your crew to help with this, or help with this planning, even for that matter, or help with the mission. You're intending to have them help out anyway, so they're the second line of this whole. Go in soft the first line and then go hard the second line. Hockey reference. I just realized I didn't mean people. Sorry.
All right. I mean, if we're doing this in hockey style, then all we got to do is just check the brain a bunch of times, and you can't do anything if they're out if they've been laid out. I mean, it'll be a big penalty for us, but who cares if they're not able to play anymore?
Never let them know you're hurt.
Yeah.
It's like the opposite of soccer, where you have to be hurt even when you're not hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice
we just
loose-
really need to get the gyms out there and get them working.
Set the tone.
Yep, it's important to set the tone.
Gotta set the tone.
So what's the diff at right now?
4 currently.
I don't think you spent the well-drilled crew.
Okay,
Oh,
So
sorry.
I'll
Yeah,
bring
the
that-
well-drilled crew goes to resist for diff.
diff.
So not 4, but 3.
Okay.
What I love about this first stage of the mission is that you're looking around and you're poking around in Project Enduring Friendships neck of the woods and going, hey, by the way.
Well,
Heads
it's
up.
kind of weird because if you have definitely their sub-light sensors, right, are gonna pick up this 12-hour period where there are just 1,000 small craft on sensors, and then then they're all gone.
They probably for a second think they're being invaded by a million shuttlecraft before we explain to them, no, we're just trying to help you with your piracy problem.
Oh, I look forward to telling my counterpart about this. It's like, hey, here's something to scare your players with. Don't worry, it's not actually a threat. But it's gonna look scary as hell.
I'm sending a log to the Commodore after this session, including those.
Alrighty then, that is 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. 5 is the
6,
number.
7.
6, 7 because of your spend. 7 on 3 means 4 is generated. Which dice, please? That would be 6.
Command score?
6. I mean, sorry, I'm rolling 6 dice. My command score is 4.
Okay.
I will spend 2 to 0 the resistance, and
4.
just leave the other 2 on the table.
5 generated, so a breakthrough occurs.
Oh, I guess. Do we need to spend the 2 now, or can we spend it after the second task to get the third one?
It's up to you. You
Okay.
get right now. You can get a max of 4 cracks at the can if you spend, because you'd spend each time you rolled.
Okay.
To
okay, I thought
squeeze
you were
extra
saying
time
third
out of
was
each
next.
one.
Okay, then we'll spend 2 now for that. And
I'll say to you, the first breakthrough is straight up just getting it on paper in a way that it doesn't just make sense to the 2 of you. It's going to make sense to other officers who aren't as familiar with the Haifa prototype or with quantum jumping, because your average Starfleet officer is warp trained, not quantum slipstream trained. Very few officers specialize in that type of travel.
okay.
So it's getting more and more developments.
Yeah, from 0 to 24.
A bit more than that. There's a whole line of ships that the Da Vinci's that line of ships about experimenting with the tech. But anyone on those ships are like the Da Vinci probably has more people trained on it than your average galaxy would ever bother. Because why would they ever need faster than that? They don't have quantum slipstream on their ship yet. So your new temp diff would fall to 1.
If 1 resists 3, I say we take a crack at it.
Resist is still 4. I'm presuming, but all of it's going to diff.
I only have 2 traits.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh, sorry, but yeah, you're right. So not 4, 2. My bad.
Yeah. All right. Using Commander's ability to help me reroll.
4, 4 on a 2. 2.
Yeah, you get the sense
will-
that Carpenter has done this exact kind of planning process for any military operation like hundreds of times
Yeah.
because she spent her whole career as an Admiralty staff officer.
Any Pierce on the back of this?
Are we allowed to spend threat on the time shortening?
I really hope you do.
I was gonna say, if not, I have Spirit of Discovery, but if we can spend threat.
Oh, what does that do?
Spirit of Discovery is the human thing where you can turn determination into momentum.
Oh, you want to do that?
Well, I was saying I could, but I would rather you spend threat.
What?
Well, I mean, I think we are going to get really far not spending threat on this.
Okay.
That's
Okay,
why
then-
I just kind of thought, because I was looking at my traits and my success, my abilities, and you're backing me up, and it's like we have a really good chance at succeeding at this without spending any threat.
Okay. Then
Um,
sure. GM, can I spend Spirit of Discovery on my first duty is to the Federation? Or actually, you know what? Why not? The uniform does not come off on the grounds that we are burning the midnight oil, spending extra time on this in order to make sure it's done as quick as we can.
I will easily take that. That's a 3 momentum generation, I believe.
Let me double check the text. 1 determination to add 3 points of momentum to the group pool.
Boop.
So 2 to get rid of resistance, 2 to buy another round.
I think Project Mercury is already a thing there, Throw. Get what it's for, but I feel like I've heard of that in
You know, it's entirely possible.
5, puts you to 10, generates another magnitude, drops space diff down to 3. The second magnitude is just that straight up. Okay, now you need to find out who's best qualified. What shifts should you do? And even if they're not qualified, maybe there's some people you could bring on to get the experience. Not a ton, like 1 or 2 people to use it as a training experience. But still, they're effective enough that they're not going to drag everyone down. You know, some junior ensign or lieutenant junior who needs time.
Oh, so now I know what Carpenter was burning the midnight oil for is going through the list of every, flight operator and flight operator and sensors trained officer in the Da Vinci and in Halanak Station and interviewing and going over their records to pick out who are the best people for this job. That's what I did all night.
Yeah. That's a lot of people to look to. But you're also including people who aren't wearing red, but they have flight training. Might be helpful, sort of thing.
And then also there are people who are qualified like Ven, but who have more important duties.
Yeah.
And so they actually are not included in this because they have better things to be doing than this.
Yeah, see, every time the commander asks, who should we put on this con shift, Haifa's answer is always Selak. Just put Selak on another shift. 4 shifts in a row won't matter. 5 shifts, let's do it.
She's your primary helmsman, for Christ's sake. You have to keep her on the Da Vinci.
You have a new flight officer. They're a dolphin. Baby dolphin. Not baby dolphin. River dolphin.
Okay, fine. So Selak can be on one ship and the River Dolphin can be on the other ship. It doesn't exactly matter where, just so long as they're both not killing themselves overworking.
You don't know river dolphins. You have another crack at the can?
Yep. Which I will spend. Which now this is diff 1.
Yes.
Which I will spend 1 momentum on. No bueno.
You still get the re-roll because of advisor.
They can't assist me.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, advisor doesn't help if they can't be assisting you.
Yeah, now you need to spend determination.
Yeah.
Can I get a determination out of the milestone for Echoes of the Ancients Part 2?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
Have you already spent your determination? Or
Yeah,
you just
first
making
roll.
one? Oh, okay. My bad.
It was part of my effort not to spend momentum. I mean, threat. There we go. That's better.
There we go.
Significantly better.
Yeah, you're also pretty tired, but as a hologram, you have ways of generating energy quickly that don't involve 8 hours of sleep.
Tired's not a subroutine Haifa has.
Oh, excuse me. Okay.
Called a maintenance cycle.
So yeah, you can explain your failures wherever you want.
7 on 1, essentially. Me 6 generated.
2 to 0 resistance. You don't gotta spend a whole lot of resources if you just roll 5 on every challenge dice roll.
Yeah.
5
Swat.
generated. Another magnitude. Difficulty drops further. I believe this is last crack at the can. I'm gonna peel back some of that work. Oh, am I? I'm trying to need this threat for other stuff. I'm not gonna peel it back. No.
We'll spend
Oh
2
my
momentum
God.
to get this opportunity.
To get that what? Sorry, I just grabbed it out of
To
habit.
get the opportunity to roll a 4th time.
Roger.
You having to be conservative and shit.
Yeah, it's weird.
Very funny.
Well, see, if you just like, normally not, right? But in this case, it's like, no, everything lines up here. We don't need to.
I wasn't even meaning you. I was meaning the GM.
Yeah. It's because I'm not giving him threat because he didn't need to.
Any joy from Carpenter?
I'm sorry?
Do you wish to assist her?
Oh, yes. I'm sorry.
Hyphen
I'm
nudges
sorry.
Carpenter who's fallen asleep.
Yeah, Carpenter says, what? No, Ensign, I'm afraid you're not qualified. Oh, sorry, yes, we can continue.
Haifa has flashbacks.
Float in the air.
Oh, that and one more to 0 out resistance.
Okay.
And
I hear resistance is good for building muscle, so you shouldn't get rid
I'll
of it.
spend 1 off the pool for another work.
1, 2, 3, 4, and you spent 1 more for 5. That puts you to magnitude 4 of 5, 20 of 25 work.
Oh, will you let me spend threat on this?
100%.
Okay, then I'll spend 4 off the table and give you 1 threat to finish this. I gave you a threat for this.
Only one.
So yeah, you once you, it's almost like a floodgate. Once the two of you get you get the plan laid out in parsable language to people outside strategic operations, you're able to find the people you need, and then at that point, it's a lot of it is just watching the bureaucratic machine under you just unfurl this into a rapid implementation. And for the average commanding officer, that would be overwhelming. They would need to kind of tap the brakes just to sleep, eat, or just hold on, explain that to me. Wait, why did so and so do this? Or they make some mistake that kind of forces you to slow down. It's sort of like driving really fast through a city. You can drive at max speed, but if you don't know how to handle your vehicle, or you didn't plan very well, you're gonna slow down. Any reasonable driver would do that. But if you're a race car driver and you've prepped the way and you basically have your own little like F1 race course for yourself, you can get really fast if you want to. And that's kind of what the two of you have done. You've created this very fast track way of getting this mission to go and be implemented with as minimal drag as possible. So I will, when I circle back to you two, I will have results of the mission. Now I have to see if your opposing forces managed to get anything done. I would take 1 moment away from you, but you didn't get any, so. 3, hit. Okay, forces unseen. Do something. No, well, I mean, 1, 2, oh, maybe I did something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually. I actually generated
This is where that Midnight Watch power of no you didn't would have been amazing.
Right. But that was my favorite.
Alright, so now you actually get to see me tell you. You don't know the specifics of it, but you know mechanically what I'm trying to track here. Enemy operation. Task. My work. It's cut out for me. My work. 22. Magnitude, still 5. Still 5. Because of what I'm trying to do. Resistance is 3. Guys, actually, I'll increase the resistance by 1 because somebody beefed up security around here for some reason. That we weren't expecting that. Why is that happening? How weird. Difficulty of 4.
The NX project?
Almost like they knew we were coming. Oh, they couldn't have known yet. What's going on? Something else is happening here. Oh, we'll figure that out later. We're not gonna. Let's not worry about that till we actually have some forward momentum here. All right. I roll 6 challenge dice. Script. Right, 6. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 on resist 4 is 4. Spend 1 threat to pierce 2 of the resistance. Will generate a breakthrough. Off camera in shadows, unseen. A few people have some conversations, very quiet conversations, far away from harmonizers, far away from Starfleet security, as much as one can manage, to discuss things, the future that they wish to have. And they just hear that maybe there's a better future, a brighter future. Who's next to move?
I can go.
All right, Kovic, what you doing?
All right. First, I'm going to use my intelligence officer superpower to create the advantage that, I don't know, a couple of intelligence reports ago, I noticed that there were some, light intrusion attempts into Halanak's computer system. So I placed a sophisticated passive tracking tracer software in the station systems that will give me an advantage when I try and determine what's been broken into and where the intrusion came from.
Oh, okay, I follow you.
Yeah, so just an advantage on figuring that stuff out. And then I will give you a threat for well-informed. And I honestly had thought of this before what just happened. So 2 questions is if I'd spent momentum on obtaining information. Kobet goes among his contacts and the rumors and everything I've heard. Has someone been going around and kind of talking to people who are kind of always, disaffected with the way things are run on the station? Maybe people that really don't seem to like what Starfleet's been doing. They took our jobs. Um, uh, and who is that person? And then the second question is, uh, have these people been meeting anywhere?
Okay. Resolve them in time. What is your first one again? Just to make sure I don't too far off.
Who's been going around talking to all these sort of disaffected people?
I have to push that back. There's no way for people to know that yet.
Oh, okay. Okay. Have those kinds of disaffected people been getting together? Like, more so than the usual, three guys, getting a little sloppy at the pub on a night.
There have been some meetings of persons who have low performance or seem otherwise disgruntled, more so than usual in various parts of the station. In a little more specific, because that's not too unreasonable to point out, in places like cargo bays, restaurants, near the shipyards, not the NX shipyard, but like other ones.
Right.
Crew quarters. Some people meet up in places like that, and in the general docking area. Places where there's a lot of people, it's easy to meet, but it's also, no matter how careful you are, a lot of people gathering in a certain spot is something people will notice, even if it's not terribly suspicious. But you ask for your contacts are able to kind of fill you in on that particular question.
Okay. I still got one question left. Let me look at what this evil plan is again. Hmm. I wouldn't know who's been gathering people together just yet.
Not by rumor alone. That would require some active investigation.
Uh, it's not just rumors, but also contacts. So informants.
Um. Who do you have favors from? Oh, give me a guideline.
Okay, how much time do you have? I have
Like
5.
any good true noir detective, you have a connection to seemingly everyone from here to the Mississippi.
So I've got 5 favors with Talora. Had 2 favors with Roll, but he's kind of off the board. Let's see. Ensign Sural, 2 with Rulan, Master Chief Nadoden, Ensign Mira, Ensign Kennett, the Chief Security Officer on Talvath Station, Lieutenant Devarro, Ensign Ciliac. And a Romulan contact.
Talora, you say? One of them?
Yeah, like times 5.
You can burn one of those, and she might share more than she otherwise would.
Sure.
there is, of the people that she knows, tell you, she'll be able to tell you something. That I'm guest character. She's support. She falls under Romulan type of.
Yep.
Man. He is on Doi. Romulan Star Navy, unreliable, passionate.
She does a lot of reading.
She does a lot of reading.
So she doesn't know this for sure herself. She's not an intelligence officer, and she's not really unraveled in criminal elements. She's always on official missions and stuff like that, for either along with Starfleet, but mostly under Ryloff. But she does some. So at first she doesn't have anything to tell you. She just confirms that the Romulan state isn't doing anything as far as she's aware. So you kind of go around, you ask other people, but eventually she kind of contacts you again, and she says, she tells you that she did some reading, some study, tried to figure out who might be able to do this, that's currently on Halanak Station or has been on Halanak Station recently. And she found that there was a Cardassian officer, or former officer, of Vraxthal. They used to be part of the Obsidian Order a long time ago, during the Dominion War. And then, well, when the Obsidian Order collapsed on itself, Commander found himself without a job, and has been kind of working as a consultant in various other works, basically because his Cardassian military career is over. Now, he's done rather well for himself, and she sees that he has a rather good reputation for being. He has various military accommodations from the Cardassian Union. He has she doesn't know the full depth of his work with the Obsidian Order, but the fact that he is not dead or disappeared gives some indication he's either incredibly skilled at evading such things, or he did so well that they figured leaving him alive was better for the Cardassian Union than killing him. And he's kind of been, and he has, to her knowledge, he has been operating in and around FIS space for the last couple months. Which she knows from checking on cough, public records, cameras, flight arrivals and leavings, that sort of thing.
Okay. That's good.
That's her best guess as to who would do this. Who could do this.
So yeah, I am then going to gather my Romulan coterie of computer hackers.
Uh-huh.
And let's go do some counter intrusion. See if we can't figure out what's been accessed and by whom, or at least from where, over the past bit.
So, whom are you specifically looking for?
So we know they're going to be looking for, particularly secure databases, to accomplish their goals of, the power grid and the communications blackout and defense system compromises. They're probably going to want to get all the plans of the station that aren't just out there for the general public. They're going to be wanting to, make sure they have some control over some escape pods and shuttlecraft. So these kind of sensitive systems. Who's been digging into those?
So you have three options. You've got Talora for the scientific and technically anything else. She does the reading, but that's expensive. Sindari is engineering, signals intelligence, and Devaro is security, cyber security.
Yes.
You want all of them, okay?
I'm serious about this, and we want to do this.
Two Doloras.
And we want to do this without attracting attention. So this is, yeah.
Okay. It's like, yeah, security specialists for infiltration of computer systems. Well, I'll choose the Romulans. Okay, there you go. Those 3 are also the most used 3.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Romulans are good at security infiltration, but Romulans are good at security infiltration.
What? No, they're defensive specialists, clearly.
Sure.
What's that phrase I say in Cyberpunk when you're trying to say you're cybersecurity, but you're being nice about it? Information security or something like that?
Sounds right.
Look, they're just consultants, okay? They are security consultants. They if they get into active firefights, that's their business and not yours.
No, I was more playing off of the best defense is a good offense. So, they're defensive security specialists, wink.
Clearly nothing's gonna happen.
Reason security, okay.
Really?
Reason security difficulty 4 says to buy, said it twice, about computer security.
Okay, so you want Debarro or Talora to do the reading, but who has I don't know, does the trait of Cyber Tracker come in helpful here?
It would, given what Kovac's looking for.
Oh.
Yeah, and Kovic could lead with a 15, I think.
Oh yeah, he can help you then. Well, his trait wouldn't help, but he can help you. Yeah.
Okay. And I created the advantage to make this a little bit easier, so that should reduce the difficulty down to 3.
Correct.
Okay. Cool. See if any of my traits might work here. Don't really think so. I'll pitch you intuitive that, Kovic is working on this. He's kind of intuiting,
I
where
would
to
shift
look.
it to insight if you do.
I can do insight. It's the same score as reason.
Okay.
No, okay. That'll bring it down to 2. How many assists am I getting from my Romulan friends? Just the 1?
I could probably make arguments for the other ones if you wanted.
Oh,
which is, yeah. I mean, there's
you have enough crew support and players at the table. You can have up to 4 people helping you.
So, well, let's start. I'll just give you 1 threat for 3 dice, and we'll see how this goes. There's 3.
A station?
Oh, yeah. Computers, security, Starship Tactical.
help if I
idea.
wrote that on the sheet.
There's 4.
Oh, here's Devarro. Nope. Just barely a miss. Tragic. Who wants to grab one of the other 2? Resounding.
Okay, what am I rolling?
Insight security.
On Devarro or who else?
Sundari or Talora, or you could potentially make an argument.
Sure, I'll do Talora. Insight security. Focus and analysis?
Yeah.
Alright. Okay, she's very helpful.
6.
Love me some Talori.
Any further assistance? You don't have to. I'm just offering.
I would like to trigger meticulous planning here to assist.
Okay.
I guess team dynamics focus probably. Cool. Throw that. Advisor also triggers on the original roll there. It matters. And I'll re-roll my assist there.
Or
Cool.
oh god, I was gonna give something to Ben. That wouldn't make sense.
Very little sense, yeah.
I will say to you, your mother wears army boots.
Hey, those are
That's-
Doc Martens.
Yeah, I mean, like, good for her.
I want army boots.
It gets cold at night or during the winter. You need something to get around in the snow.
For a second, I thought you were gonna say something to eat while in the snow. I'm like, I suppose you could eat the leather.
I've never been that desperate, but I'll let you know if I do.
Know a lot of old guards people who wear.
In Leningrad, we were that desperate.
I will say to you that at this time, no special intrusion has occurred. There are minor intrusions that are like petty things of criminals doing other stuff on station, but nothing that rises to the level of what you're looking for.
Okay. Yeah.
With that high roll, I'll even point out that a particular cracking group you're aware of is in the system, but they aren't. They seem to be doing the normal thing they do. They're looking around at various businesses. They're not looking at Starfleet stuff at all. That's not their target.
Right.
Don't care. They care about Starfleet, but until Starfleet turns into Mirrorverse Starfleet, they're not going to worry about them too much.
Right.
Well, I'm sure the scope of things also covers the FIS.
Yep.
Okay. So even if the results of an investigation into a crime determined that, no real crime has yet occurred, if the investigation was successful, do my associated talents pop?
Yes. A negative result is still a result.
Okay. So then lead investigator will give me 2 bonus momentum. This wasn't actually a crime scene, so I don't think constable actually goes off. But okay, we got 2 bonus momentum to add. So we got a total of 7 out there. Okay, so I think it's time to build some advantages.
Yeah.
So advantage 1, schematics of sensitive areas in the in Halanak station, like places that non-Starfleet, that you have to have a certain security clearance to access, the real detailed schematics of these areas. Yeah, something's just buggy with that. There's something just, you get the schematics and they wind up just not matching what the reality on the ground is, and you go back and re-download them, and and then something else is not matching what the reality on the ground is. So there's something buggy in the system. Who knows what it is?
Oh, so we're feeding them bad information. Oh, that's very clever.
Yeah, we're changing the road signs.
I am
And
going.
then, and then if people report this, then I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean they're a spy, but it makes them someone you might want to investigate because why is this technician who doesn't work on the engine investigating the power source?
Right.
Yeah.
I will treat that as peeling back 4 of the work I generated because you're forcing them to waste time on re-verifying without drawing your attention.
Right. Let's see.
I'd also suggest a passive alarm. Essentially, a firewall that is intended to be broken through, but it will let us know when that has happened.
Yep, like that. Let's spend 2 on that advantage.
You want that to be a resistance increase or difficulty? Current difficulty is 3.
What do you think, Kovic?
I don't know. I would say difficulty increase.
Yeah, difficulty. Just raise their comp range. Let's go.
Right.
See how the GM likes comp 5. We'll get him there.
We get diff 5, comp 5. We'll do our job.
Yeah. Any other expenditures on that roll?
Let's see. I'm reading through scanning their plans once again. How can we make things more difficult for them in this bit? Okay, I want to raise their difficulty 1 more, but the way I'm going to do it is, it's all about the NX project. So, like, there'll be another security thing that they have to get around, go under, whatever, but it's very definitely associated with the NX project. So, in other words, it doesn't look like something that's, we're just, might be countervailing them, and specifically it just, everybody in the quadrant knows, as we discovered all the way out to Ramen Space, that we're being really secure about this NX, this probably shipbuilding project. So this is just another layer of that.
Okay.
That happens to interfere with whatever the hell they're trying to do, because
We're securing
we're
our
just being
computer
careful.
systems.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Okay. Yeah, we made their computer lives hard.
Yeah.
And just informational question, and I don't know if Kovic knows this or not, but QEC communicators, are they subject to disruption through EMPs?
No, because that yes, because it affects the device. The transmission itself can't be disrupted that way, but if I EMP your communicator and it's not shielded properly, that can cause malfunction.
Okay.
Although the same would apply with subspace. If I do an electromagnetic pulse, it doesn't affect the subspace layer, but it will affect the machine that makes the transmission or
Right.
receives
So
it.
you've got to harden the hardware.
Yeah.
Or simplify it. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. That's what I figured. I just wanted to get confirmation.
I'll switch the camera over to either Thralic or Rylov. I'm going to peel that away, and as that happens, forces unknown are going to try to do something.
To the new diff 5.
Yep. I don't want to use that. So I bought 2 dice, so I go there. 1, 2, 3. Nope, I'm short. Nothing happens. Because I could succeed at cost, but if I do that, I'm going to set off alarms, and then I'm being attacked anyway. So no, I'm better off just failing and not getting any progress. False to Thralic or Ryloff?
I have a plan, but it would technically need the approval of Thralic and probably Kovic. And then probably the
I mean,
the sitting head of the Senate. Not wait, what is the Halanak agreements thing? Is that a Senate still? It is.
Well, they have various bodies. Do you mean presiding speaker, or do you mean a particular
presiding speaker.
office? Okay, yeah.
Yes.
There's multiple
Kovic's not here,
ministers,
so
so
it's
that's why I
like-
was like,
well, I mean, if you want to schedule a meeting with me, at least,
Sure.
still available.
do you wish to have a meeting? Would you like presiding speaker Varys to be present for this meeting? You are a fleet liaison, so it's not unreasonable for him to talk to you. I just don't know if you want to talk to him while you're talking to Thralic at this point.
Sure, but such a thing would have to be more subtly arranged. Like, it could be a meeting between Thralic and the speaker, and Rylov just wasn't supposed to be there, but he is.
Give me control command difficulty 2 to kind of very carefully arrange that to happen in a way that seems innocuous.
Okay. Control, command. It's a good thing I actually changed his scores around to have command be decent.
Uh-huh.
Computer stuff.
Focus and precautions or strategy and tactics?
Precautions.
Question mark. Okay. A trait of subtle.
Yeah.
I'm not a spy, I swear.
Sure, buddy.
um, don't worry, Guile and Cunning come in later if someone tries to figure this out. I'll give you a threat, and that's now a diff 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't change the name, but also that's apparently a complication, which I can get rid of. That's fine. Let me just change that, and the getting rid of that will be,
A bribe.
yeah. Yeah, probably one of the, no, not that, that's, what, Legion of Honor, yeah.
Okay. Washing the...
Yep.
Good. So, a rather innocuous meeting is arranged between you, Thralic, and presiding speaker Varys. Varys, I should say. These sort of meetings kind of happen anyway, but this particular meeting, there is a moment of both of you kind of meet at his office, generally. There's not very good reasons for a civil operative to be standing in as far as the FIS is concerned, an ostensibly military setting. First, you come to his office. It looks better. And there's this moment of, neither of you really remember scheduling this. But, and that's, as you're both trying to, wait, you're both realizing neither of you, did you do this? No, you did this. I didn't.
Yeah,
And
it's
then,
I arrive and it's Prime Speaker, you wanted to speak with me? Prime Speaker's like, I thought you had something you wished to report.
Then Centurion Ryloff comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Good evening, and I do apologize for any confusion that this is doubtlessly causing. But I have a proposition.
Varys kind of changes color in his slime form. It seems to settle into his receptacle a bit more. Get the sense you're being evaluated.
The only reason I am involving you, presiding speaker, other than it is an event on Halanak Station, which you would normally hear through Admiral Thralic, is that this is in regards to my efforts to have the state become a signatory. Rear Admiral Thralic, how aware of our present situation is the presiding speaker?
Ooh, that's GM. How aware is the presiding speaker of our current situation, I guess?
Insight command.
I presume I have like fairly frequent briefings, but
Insight command difficulty of 3.
all right.
I have a plan as a Ragoon thing.
Am I looking for something like observation or?
Yeah, this is you
ballpark.
understanding how well informed Varys really would be with or without you.
All right. I'll go for observation as focus then. Difficulty 3, you said?
Yes.
I'll give you a threat for an extra die.
I'll have to apologize to Carpenter later because clearly arranging this probably stepped on her toes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Hello, I am back. Who stepped on my toes?
Hi.
Perfect timing.
It's for the greater good, trust me.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
You work
That
on
sentence
one
should end with
mission.
don't. I don't.
Yeah.
So yeah, Thralic, you are able to. Varys knows what you tell him a lot of the time. However, despite the FAS not being as technologically advanced as Starfleet in a lot of ways, they have been a government, an interstellar government for hundreds of years, longer than Starfleet. So, and you also know from previous experience with him and previous crises that he used to be the Minister of Defense before he became the presiding speaker. So of most Upantari or FIES politicians, he's a lot more versed in strategic operations and intel reports than other, especially since his rival is no longer a Minister of Intelligence anymore. So he's a lot more tuned into what's going on through the FIDF and what FIS sources. And especially anything Kovac's been doing. Kovac would have to report through that branch of the government. So you get the feeling Varys is actually, even though he has never said it to your face, he's probably a lot more informed about this than you think. Yeah. He probably doesn't know every nut and bolt because he doesn't have complete access to you. He'd need Carpenter to do that, or you. But he knows as much as anything that's happening. A lot of the stuff that's happening, he probably knows to some degree, or has some awareness of.
I would like to also say that, like, I probably do keep up fairly regular meetings with presiding speaker because, you know, the whole fostering relations to the FIS thing. I believe the presiding speaker is fairly well informed of our situation.
Wonderful. So the unknown force that is making its efforts and maneuvers is recruiting people that are disaffected and would like to have some form of change or something gained from whatever's about to occur. Now, what if, in the next meeting, to further the state's intentions here and have a agreement signed onto the Halanak agreement, something were to happen which would, for whatever reason, discard that entirely and utterly, and give good reason for myself to be disaffected. This is, of course, not something that we would have in the long term, but it is a thought to potentially have whoever it is reach out to myself, and in turn I can find out what needs to be found out. Anything
to do with the state's application would be a myriad process that may have side effects neither of us. But you're looking to look irritated with your place here on Halanak Station. I believe I can trigger a diplomatic credential review of your status here on Halanak Station. This is something I believe I could do through my office, the relevant external affairs office, and Thralick's office. The side effects of this, however, would curtail all your privileges. But to anyone looking into the bureaucracy of it, they would see that you may no longer be permitted to stay on Halanak Station.
I could also remove you from my advisory council.
That was my thought on your end.
Interesting. That would also work. My thought is, anyone else could technically have something like this happen. Kovic, Carpenter, but they are less reasonable. The most, unfortunately, mistrusted people are the Romulans. And it is not outside of our reputation for there to have been something that was attempted, rumored or not, to warrant such things to happen.
Well, you are what you eat. Says the slime to the two of you.
But given the ramifications and the policy of the FIS for, well, free information and lack of deception, I wanted to make sure that this was something that you were approving of, or accepting of at the least.
I wouldn't mind having your file reviewed. This means I won't be offending anyone.
Of course, I'm sure the opposing faction has been making some weighty statements in regards to my continued presence while their own is missing.
There have been complaints lodged.
I guess those should be taken seriously then.
Given your enhanced review, I will have to request that you and your personnel will have to restrict themselves from any restricted areas and disarm themselves to harmonizers. You're being reviewed. Your entire embassy is being reviewed.
And of course, if that is the case, you being on the Admiralty Advisory Council would no longer be acceptable. There may also have been some personal conflict between the two of us. We do have a history, after all.
Yes, and this is very clearly outrageous. A small smirk.
An advisory to you, Centurion. If this plan of yours imperils the free information sphere, I will have no qualms to allow the investigation to run its full course. So, please be productive.
I would have it no other way, presiding speaker.
I'm afraid that you are not authorized to be in this office at the time. Please go to the Harmonizer's office to surrender your weapon.
I'll
Of
expect you to
course.
report to my office on civilian levels at 0900 as well.
Yes, Admiral. I would say good day, but that is evidently not true. He'll leave.
Uh-huh. I
Did you just take away my Romulans?
I took away your Romulans by having them take away your Romulans. Now, technically,
Yeah.
you can still deputize them if you want, but they're under review.
Yeah, looks a little weird, I'll say.
I guess some Romulans are getting mass drivers.
All right. Yeah, I'll say that I continue, the meeting with the presiding speaker because I feel like I probably have enough to brief him on. Actually, just like, well, we're here and
Yeah, he
all that
basically just
basically.
sped up your regularly scheduled meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, like okay.
Kovic at some point collecting weapons from them, like, yeah, here's this.
Mhm.
Ooh, I don't
Yeah.
have a I don't have one of these.
You kidding me? You imagine the amount of people trying to sneak disruptors onto your damn station. You're like, no. Mass
Alright.
drivers
How
are the
many
legal thing
disruptors?
here.
Actually,
There's like a whole storage locker that's just,
do I
Different
have to
species
turn in the
disruptors
knife as well, or is that allowed?
is a culturally significant night.
Say again,
If
sorry.
I said yes, would that help? Is a knife permitted on Halanak Station, or is that something that would also be taken away?
So long as it could be it isn't otherwise construed to be a battle weapon, to say that it has a poisoned edge or an especially nasty thing. Otherwise, they just treat it as a tool.
I was gonna say knives can be utility items.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
tool.
Yeah, it's a tool that stabs people.
Yeah, what we're importing from the Soviet Union, don't worry about it. It's tractors and tractor parts.
I will say that Rylov has absolutely no reputation or history of ever using a knife in battle. So
Yeah.
Plus, the FAS aren't worried about knives too much. Modern armor tends to, and physiology goes like, haha, I stabbed you, Mr. Bush. That's nice. You're within reach range of my tentacles. Come here. Like, oh no.
what am I going to do? Stab a slime? Like,
Yeah.
That's my
See,
knife now.
I'm sure by bush you meant
Savage
like a
cast.
plant.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I was thinking that you were
The
implying
president?
that a former U.S. president had tentacles.
I mean, I'm not
You know?
saying that on an American-owned company.
How surprised would we be, really?
If anyone had the tentacles in that administration, it was Dick Cheney.
who was the one that went to stop the
Or
mole
Bill
man?
Clinton, but he used it for different stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, let's please move on.
So, what follow-up
Yeah.
are you doing on the back of that, Ryloff?
Making it look good, convincing on his end.
Give me an opposed presence security roll.
I would like to
Okay.
assist with this, given the previously established, and he'll be coming to my office later.
Virus will
strategy
assist you
attack.
as well on your roll.
Yeah.
He's helping sell the lie.
Strategy and tactics? Question mark.
No.
Precautions.
I wouldn't say so. Something along the lines of like acting, pretending, impersonating.
I don't have. I mean, I've got team dynamics, but no. That is also not relevant. So no focus for this. That's fine. It was present security.
Oh.
I mean, that's been stripped away. That's why that's no longer helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Mistrust Klingons is not relevant because there's not really Klingons, unfortunately.
Now,
Unless I
there
run
might be
into some.
soon. Mm-hmm.
I will up your complication for mistrust Klingons because, well, some Klingons are here because of the increased war effort. So maybe they're in on it. They're not Ryloth, but what if they are?
Well, what if that's also part of the reason for dismissal? So it could, while it raises my comp, it also lowers my difficulty. Question mark.
No.
Damn.
That was a good
What
one,
was-
though.
I had to try.
Yeah.
Oh, what was the difficulty again? Oh, it was opposed. Opposed, right. Oh, please load.
No. So you get for not owning an Apple.
Oh, okay.
The inferior personal computer.
Yeah, I've got the funny.
me?
I'll do the funny. This might bite me. It might not bite me. We'll find out about that. Yeah, you get 4 instead of 6.
Okay. I'm not spending those
I'm
right
fine
now.
with this.
There's a more important mission. Definitely need it because somebody upped the difficulty.
Oh wow, I only got 2 off of that anyway. That's horrific. But
Well,
we'll find out
I
how
mean-
this goes.
It's Kovic and his Romulans, and it's not even suspicious. He hangs out with his people all the time.
Guidance focus, Jim?
I've got the security reroll anyway as well. Actually, that gives you 2 rerolls potentially.
Yeah, you got a reroll there from advisor from me.
Yeah, so bolt security, and then I'll reroll that. That's why I didn't roll them both at the same time.
Yep, that's how you reroll.
Oh my god, that is actually horrific. at the moment, though.
Wow. Okay, so
This is how you can tell he isn't a spy.
2, 3, 4, 5,
yeah,
6.
good at it.
6 versus 2. Generate 4 momentum.
Yeah, it
And
was
we
still
also
very
get a float
successful
off of
though.
that. Yeah.
Say again, I lost. Last.
Oh, there's an additional float as well because of my success.
Oh.
Oh right.
Yeah, you're able to project something that will involve a certain Cardassian wanting to have a conversation with you.
Lovely. Now, is there the given of informing Kovic at some point while this is happening, like when the people are disarming to him in briefing, or would that be a spend to make sure that's possible?
I'm here. There we go. I will take 2 momentum to have it communicated to him so he knows it without alerting anybody.
Gotcha. Yeah. It's
What do
better
I
to
now
keep
know?
Kovic in the loop. That he's not actually being, well, I mean, it's as far as the advice is concerned, this is all official. He's actually being scrutinized. All his personnel disarmed. There's reason for this. Kovic's aware that this is a play by Rylov that's approved by Thralik and the presiding speaker to put Rylov in the position of being a dissatisfied or disaffected individual
Ah,
that the opposition might be interested in trying to communicate with and recruit.
Oh my god, that's so
Nice.
smart. That's so smart.
Thank you. I have my moments. This is why I don't think Carpenter's going to mind that Rylov stepped on her
No,
toes and
okay.
arranged the meeting at the end of the day. But right now, she's probably irritated, and that might actually be something that's selling it even more. Is
Yeah,
that Carpenter is actually irritated with him?
Yeah, no, I just imagine that, like, Carpenter and Thralik are going to meet for their, the lunchtime discussion, and Carpenter's going to be like, yeah, our mission to detect green vessels has been very successful, and you're going to be like, I fired Rylov, and I'm going to be like, what?
Yeah.
About damn time, I
No,
never
this-
liked him
this
in the first place. Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is, we're having a meeting but we're having a meeting in a cafe somewhere, and there's some junior
Oh.
officers nearby as well.
Oh, so it's public? Oh,
Yeah.
even worse. Oh god.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's very confused as to why you fired Rylov. And it's like, but he's a good officer. You didn't trust him?
I have removed Centurion Brylov from my advisory committee, and he will not be rejoining for the foreseeable
God
future.
damn
Is that understood?
But his opinions were highly validated. He's an expert on security matters, on matters relating to the Romulan state, and he's come up with numerous successful stratagems that we have implemented.
I will
Try-
not be taking further criticism of this decision, Commander.
Show her the proof that he
That's
fucked with her
Admiral.
timetables.
Yeah.
Change her tune.
You know what? Actually, yeah. I don't believe the Centurion's recent activities, and these are the ones I'm aware of, are in keeping with someone attempting to achieve diplomatic parity with the FIS.
Right. Sure, okay, but that might be worth a reprimand. You might that might be worth an awkward discussion with him, but you can't fire him not without a replacement. Who who is going to be the Romulan liaison on the staff now? We This is a very important matter for you to do without consulting me.
In the background, you there is something that you all learned because somebody screwed up. So in his haste to contact Ryloff, all of
He was
you,
on that shit.
all of you, kind of through your various means, kind of are feel. I imagine you're all feeling out, especially Kovic's side of it is trying to feel out for any sort of weird movement, any weird motions happening around you. And it would seem, based on what you know so far, they have not. It is clear to you that they are in the early stages of phase 1. They haven't moved any further than because you're not seeing anything else in the plan, in the operation happening. And Braxfall doesn't make a great effort to hide him meeting Ryloff. Like he meets him at he's going to meet him at like a cafe here on Halanak Station openly. Some of that may be just straight up arrogance. Some of it may come off as desperation. Like they're trying to get forward momentum before they run out of time. So there's no smoking gun, but reading between the lines, you can tell that Vraxthal is not doing terribly well. Part of it helps that part of it is you guys doing all the stuff you've done so far, and part of it is because the Stavager got this plan so quickly and got it to you so quickly that they haven't had time to realize that their operation's compromised. They don't know that you know. That's the big smoking gun, I should point out. That
Yeah.
Their operation shows them not aware that you're stopping them. Like you're actually trying to counter them. They think they're passing a passive. But I will throw the floor over to Riabra Thralic.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
It's my shit show now. Wonderful. I would like to bring a proposal before the FIS Assembly for the construction of a production model of the hyperprototype Alpha using the lessons learned in its construction to attempt to build a working prototype for what the assembly knows is also the quantum slipstream drive for Project Cobalt.
I'll let you take some swings at the extended task of that.
All right.
I'll give you the same deal I gave to Haifa, 2 cracks of the can, but you can spend momentum to give yourself more time. Basically, you sit there a lot longer to argue points rather than going away, doing other stuff, and then coming back at another sitting. You're insisting, no, I want to sit here and I want to debate it with you. Yeah. Which you would be allowed to do that as the representative of Starfleet's signatoriness. The only person who outrank you that would be like a diplomatic corps or a sitting representative of the Federation Council.
Yeah.
So we'll point out someone would interfere with that, but you guys kind of saved that particular neo originalist's life. doesn't feel like getting in your right now. Just as a
Glad to
favor.
hear it.
Not terribly thrilled with this plan. Doesn't like a new ship being built that isn't being sent back home. But you know, whatever. You saved their life.
Yeah.
We're not gonna be picky about it.
Mm-hmm. All right. What's that roll look like? I guess.
It looks like your face. Give me a second. Odd.
Wow. That's a weird shape for numbers and letters to take, but I mean, if you can make it work, make it work.
Called ASCII art.
Yeah. I'm expecting results.
I'll just get some AI generator to do it. It'll be fine. Alright, cool. Alright, work 30. Sorry, 20. Magnitude 4. Resistance 3. Difficulty 3. To assemble your little production of Haifa small craft. This feels like to me a presence command.
I believe so as well. Focus in team dynamics here, or negotiation. Cool. Do I have any talents that help me with this? Fascinating question. I think I don't because I'm leading it, which is really funny. Cool. Trait of relentless. So I'm kind of doggedly pursuing this in one sitting rather than being like, okay, I'll come back next meeting. I'll hit that on resist, I think. Let's see what anything else might help here. Flag officer is making this possible, I presume.
Yeah. Otherwise, there'd be a role for you to try to get in there. It's like, no, you're a flag officer of Starfleet. You have a lot more pull than your average officer.
Cool. I'm going to roll 5 challenge dice to see how much threat you got.
No whammies, no whammies. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Oh wait, it should be one more for a full minute. 5 is not a number that works.
Okay, maybe that's how many you're rolling for. I don't know.
All right, so number of threats not changed, but I do get that die. All right. 4 hits. So 1 momentum.
Boop and boop.
And work.
Two, three, 6. 6 minus 2 is 4.
I'm going to spend 1 momentum on a reroll of 3 dice.
Oh, why not reroll 7, coward?
You're right. I'm just gonna reroll 3 though.
And
then I'm going to spend an additional momentum to slash the resist down to 0.
straight puts it to 10 work of 20. 1 magnitude. Difficulty falls down by 1. As a lot of it, the first stage of it is just simply getting in, getting yourself on the agenda in a way that doesn't put you out to next year. Like, no, hold on, this is important.
Yeah.
No, real. Here's why it's important. You're not even like arguing the point. You're just arguing that you're worth listening to.
Mm-hmm. And then it costs. Does it cost 1 or 2 to decrease the interval?
2.
Okay.
Unless
Will
have
you
some
take
special
1 and
rating.
1?
I certainly will.
All right, I will do that. And then I will make an additional roll. I'm gonna spend my second copy of the same medal to roll 6 challenge dice the first time. This time,
His OP needs nerf.
right? All right.
Come on, second ed, ban all medals.
4. What are we supposed to spend rep on?
I don't know. They'll figure it out.
All right.
Maybe rep's been gotten rid of entirely. Who knows? Hope not.
Time to
maybe.
move to the new Klingon system of advancement.
All right. It's
You
5
already
successes
used
on the diff 2.
E generated.
3 generated. I'll use 2 of the 3 generated to quash that complication.
All right.
Seven.
7. Yep.
I'll spend 1 to eliminate the resistance. 1 momentum. And then I'll buy 3 work with momentum to fill the work path.
That gets you up to 3 magnitude.
Mhm.
And to make impassioned pleas, you're relentless about it. And also the fact that this is you're trying to get them to build a system that has already been well argued before by Haifa anyway. So a lot of the relevant subcommittees you would normally have to talk to have already been convinced. So you kind of find suddenly that there are voices that do interrupt you, and there's this moment of, oh no, they're interrupting me so they can just I lose control of the conversation. And then you realize that no, these are like voting blocks of researchers who already liked the idea in the first place. And like, no, they're helping support you. And then you notice that some of them purposefully give the floor back to you because they know that you're the one you're arguing for it. So like, oh no,
Yeah.
we're just gonna keep pushing.
All right. Cool. I believe you said I had just 2 cracks to can there, though.
2 cracks of the can, so you reduce the interval. Done it at least once.
Yeah, I'll reduce that again. I can try and finish that off then. I don't unfortunately have a 3rd cluster of conspicuous gallantry, so I'll have to like actually roll this time on this diff 1. It's such a shame.
Diff
I will
1?
buy should it
Diff
be diff
0?
1 now?
Diff 0, because you did 2
Oh,
magnitude.
diff 0. Right. Cool. I'm rolling to comp check.
Yeah.
I need more momentum. I do the work.
And that is more than enough. Yeah, you spend quite a few quite a bit of time, I should say, to argue your points. As I said, you find a lot of support existing in the assembly to begin with. So there's a lot of taking the time from you, talking, and then giving over their extra time back to you. And so there is opposition, because there's opposition to everything in the FIS. It's just the nature of that sort of body. But the vote overwhelmingly goes in favor of it. You get the feeling that the FIS was eager to do this anyway. It's just that the topic wasn't brought up on the agenda, and you just kind of you've sped up that process. Like, you get the feeling that there's some people that were going to push for this, but they weren't sure if Starfleet was willing to push for it. You kind of gave them the green light, like, oh, okay, well, we'll help you. If you're okay with it, we're okay with it. Please, quickly, before our position built up a good counter argument.
Yeah.
But you've annoyed some people in the assembly because you kind of caught them flat-footed, so to speak. So.
I mean, I'm gonna do that no matter what I do. So. I'm in a somewhat political position. I'm going to annoy people. That's how it works.
Right. Pull away one of your momentum. Okay, team competent. You're so good at your damn job. Try. Get results. Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I actually generate one at the end of that rainbow.
Damn.
Ah,
I better 1 than 3.
yeah.
6.
Hey, they are making progress. See, they get to meet Ryloff.
Yeah, exactly. Everything according to plan.
What a fantastic asset.
6 minus 4. No.
Things are going a little slow, but such marvelous happenstance.
Should I feel bad for these guys yet or no?
6.
No, not yet.
That puts it to 4 work. That isn't a breakthrough, sadly, but it is progress, and that's good. Means difficulty still 5 though. Oh well, I'd rather have forward movement, especially since you clawed back my work. Work is work. So results for Carpenter and Haifa. After sending out the shuttle to pop in, pop out, the Haifa maneuver, if you will, across the Project Enduring Friendships sector, they do spot a ship that is, it's the right ship for, I say. Yes, it's a Beskant class vessel, scale 3. It is armed with disruptor cannons, green torpedoes, tractor beam systems, and it does seem to match it does have a slim sensor silhouette that made it it took them a couple of, they saw something at first and they waited till a couple more jumps to go, let's not report in something's there and then make the Da Vinci jump out for nothing. So let's make sure whatever's there is actually there and it's not leaving or it hasn't left yet. After 2 more jumps, they're like, no, it's there, and this is roughly where it's sitting. So let's get out of here and report back to base to let them know that we found something.
Because of its area of operation or what it has on it, what kind of jurisdiction do we have, if any?
Insight command difficulty 2. Puzzle that out.
Starfleet Protocol?
Definitely.
I will spend 3 momentum.
3 threat? Oh, you're so nice. Thank you. Just gonna sob in the corner here, don't mind me.
Look, we don't do it that often, but sometimes we do have to threat strike.
Right now, not a whole lot. What you need is evidence of them either attacking a Federation vessel or otherwise threatening the colony. I forget the colony's name. It's the Project Enduring Freedom colony. There's a name for it. I always get the name of the game, not the place. But at present, they're just kind of sitting there. If they were in Federation space, you would have every reason to yell at them. They're a military vessel in claimed space is a great way to have a Starfleet vessel yell at you. But right now, as far as you're aware, they're in open space. Another way to get a jurisdiction is to see if anyone is in the area that claims that part of space, and you could ask if they want your help. And they by extension give you jurisdiction to push them out.
Hey, is that guy bothering you?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the Haifa maneuver. The one that the Admiral doesn't like. And I'm going to put down the report that I got from the shuttle. And I'm going to hit the recall, red alert, everybody on board in 30 minutes, we're jumping button.
Yep.
And I'll call the Commander Carpenter.
Carpenter here?
Based on my reading of the latest reports, we have a Breen ship possibly engaged in piracy activities. We're going to investigate.
Understood. Mind if I tag along? I don't have anything to do because someone decided to lock me out of some major policy decisions.
You got 29 minutes and 30 seconds to be on board.
I'll be there in 4. And Carpenter, yeah, I'm just picturing Throlic. You just see Throlic like exit her office, walk into your office, and she says, I'm going to monitor the Da Vinci as Haifa engages in anti-piracy protocols.
I think Frolic looks like she has like no particular like the two of them just had a big argument. She does not look emotionally affected by it, and she just says, "Very good, Commander. Best of luck to you."
Yep, and yeah, that's what she figured you would do. And then she leaves, and as she's walking down, she does a little fist bump because for once in her career, she does something exciting.
See how it is.
Or
GM will remember
stands
that.
next to the captain as the captain does something exciting, which is almost as good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and as we go to jump, I do intend to, as we jump on, hopefully jump on top of them, basically order them to come to and prepare to be boarded or whatever. Knowing that I don't quite actually have the authority to do that I'm kind of inventing their supposed piracy. So I kind of want to write up a report of my interpretation of the report that I got from the prototype in such a way that will limit the reputational damage and the legal fallout among the crew
If
as
you,
much as possible.
you might not, but if you inform Carpenter of this plan, she will absolutely help you do some light forgery to make this look better.
If GM, is there going to be a roll for it?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so if I don't get the roll on my own, I'm fine with saying that you catch it and you fix the problems in the report, and that Haifa acknowledges that, but Haifa doesn't know enough to trust you yet on something like this. So it would have to be you catch her and then you show her you can be trusted. But if I get it outright, I guess that wouldn't.
All right.
A focus in Starfleet Protocol.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, see, there's a good justification. Rolling the ship. So yeah, I'll take an assist from Carpenter.
So, Captain, what are you doing? I see you typing on that pad there.
I'll hand it over and say, this is the report on our justified use of searching protocols.
Yes, well, we have reasonable suspicion they are engaged in privateering activity against Federation vessels, of course. So, let me just help you demarcate that correctly. Yeah. Did you methodically plan for giving us just cause when we don't have it?
No, however,
Uh-huh.
I did approve the plan that Haifa put on my desk, which this is looking to conform to.
So,
I mean, it's not. We're skirting the rules of what that was about, but
No, we're scared. We are bending the rules to enact that plan, the plan that we gave Thralic. Because we are doing what we told Thralic we were going to do. We're just we're exceeding that plan.
all right. I'm going to GM.
yeah.
What's the difficulty here? Diff 2?
Yeah.
I don't know this has happened, to be clear. They're doing this based off of the intensive planning and reports and information that
But
I've
you
given.
allowed for it to happen.
That's true. That's true.
All right. Well, I was going to burn a determination for it, but I don't think I have to because you get a reroll on that comp. So let's see how that turns out first.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Oh,
I assume
that
GM
roll.
a focus in bureaucracy.
Yes, totally.
Okay. Oh my God, and your assist. Oh my God. Okay. You really didn't have to do that.
Hey, more momentum. I will say, due to the success of this conspiracy to subvert justice, I'll allow you to get someone out from the ding. Also, it'll be an advantage you can use against the people. But you guys did pretty well, so I think I think someone can escape a ding here. Like you're giving someone, one of you is actually getting legal coverage.
Which is okay. I find this a little bit weird because if I had not involved either of if Carpenter hadn't stepped up to help and the Admiral hadn't allowed their plans to be used in this way, y'all wouldn't be getting dinged.
Yes.
Correct.
So y'all have accepted dings to help me avoid a ding, and I'm not gonna feel guilty about saying that I'm taking the cover here. I didn't have to help.
That makes sense. I'm good with that.
We can keep a secret if two are dead. We accidentally made too many people aware of this, which now means that it hurt more of our reputations than if otherwise we had kept a lid on it. But
I don't know if Captain Haifa did anything illegal, but it sure as hell looks like the Admiral and the Commander think she did.
And are covering for it, yeah.
Yeah, but anyways, yes.
Despite the fact that I don't know about this yet.
Why am I doing like the most honest thing right now? What?
This is fully as established for these characters. You know that.
I mean, to be fair, every time I've asked to do something illegal, you've done the legal thing.
Carpenter will annotate your notes and add some references to the standing anti-piracy routine and claim, we have reasonable suspicion that these green vessels are the ones that we have previously identified as being engaged in piracy, yada, yada, don't look too closely at this, and then hand it back to you and say, I believe that's an accurate summary of the events.
And also, obviously, if you interpret the Admiral's directive in these specific lights, then it's clear the Admiral's directive was always intended to allow for this.
So, GM, I'll have us come in at red alert but weapons off, so everybody is ready to engage in hostilities. Like the torpedo men are at the torpedo stations, right? Just they haven't turned on the machines.
Isn't that just yellow alert?
You just described
yellow alert. That's literally yellow alert.
I always assumed yellow alert was not.
Yellow alert is shields up all crew to stations.
Because at any moment, if you're at yellow alert, you know red alert could happen any second. So you kind of have to be hanging around. Some people, not everyone's on deck. Like the entire torpedo staff probably aren't in that room, but all the people that need to shoot are there, sort of stuff. Anyone who's supposed to be on the bridge is there, but they're not evacuating civilians are being alerted. Hey, by the way, you might want to find somewhere safe in case this turns into something. That sort of stuff. Yeah, yellow alert's a strip, shields up. Everyone get ready.
Red alert's the we're being shot at.
Yeah, we're either in life or death, or we are shooting at somebody.
If they detect us coming at red alert, I think it's highly
Yeah, I
likely
guess
they
I guess
just
that
start
is what
shooting
that is what I intended to do, is to inform the crew we are being shot at. Right. I'm assuming that's going to be the case. I just don't want to have the weapons turned on.
That's yellow alert then.
Yellow alert. You're warning them that a danger's present, so everyone can stay away from the windows. Brace yourselves. Be ready to hear new orders.
Be ready to go to positions. Yeah.
And then we don't have the name of the ship, right? Just the class.
Yep.
Then and that class was.
See, this is why I write things down. Just kidding. It's a best cat class.
Best cat. Okay. I will have comms open hailing frequencies, broadcast hailing frequencies, and say Bescat class vessel, this is the USS Da Vinci. You'll power down your engines and shields and prepare to be boarded in a routine inspection. You are suspected of piracy.
This is going to be an opposed role. You're trying to spook that captain into revealing them, and not just straight up running for it.
If he runs, it makes it easier.
Jesus Christ.
You might want to.
In Winchester's cyberpunk game, we played as morally ambiguous cops for a while, and I don't think we were as bad as this.
So you weren't being real cops then? No.
They were worse than this by far.
I mean, you're the one saying it. I don't know.
Had a crippling coke addiction.
Yeah, I would rather.
Are you saying she doesn't now?
At people who are running away.
No. Carpenter's character had a crippling coke addiction, and that caused them to miss an op, and that op led to like 20 people dying on a bridge horrifically.
Yes, that part's true.
So, no judgment.
No, I wasn't judging you. It was a neutral statement.
I just feel I get more legal cover if they make themselves look guilty, because that's how it works, right?
Oh my god. We'll just sprinkle some space crack on them. Okay, it's an opposed roll. What's the roll?
Presence command.
Can I assist with reason command?
Certainly
on the basis of I helped write the arguments?
Okay. Calm under pressure?
I wouldn't take it. You're the superior vessel.
Okay.
I don't think I don't think Haifa feels she's in any danger right now.
All right. A focus in strategy and tactics.
Yeah.
I will spend 6 momentum. It's nice getting a full mitt and not giving any threat.
Yeah, it's. I'm really happy for you.
All right, GM, can I have a focus in bureaucracy because of the bureaucratic procedures we've been citing here?
Yep.
All right, and you can reroll that 0, Bubby.
I
Eight.
don't think I want to do that.
Did you just call him Bubby?
But I don't know, Bubby.
You say Buddy or Bubby, like Bubba, Bubby?
I tried to say Buddy, but it might have come out as Bubby.
It
Okay.
did sound like Bubby.
Oh my God, I apologize.
No, never should apologize. I just thought that was,
It
kind
was
of
funny.
interesting.
I just assumed it was a Massachusetts thing.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I only got 2, unfortunately.
All right.
9. 7 after all. Floats out there. A vessel becomes clear on your sensors as it deactivates its slim sensor silhouette. Its weapons are not powered up. Its shields are not powered up. And you are being hailed.
Um. All right. On screen.
Do I still have their... anything you want to do with this float, by the way?
I was gonna wait to see the results of the roll. I didn't know how far the results got me.
The result got you that they basically reveal themselves. They don't get into a
Okay.
fighting position.
Spend the float on they're intimidated by us?
This one and one off the table for the advantage that we know if they tried to communicate with someone else before decloaking, like either sent a distress or tried to tell someone else like the game's up, they got us.
A signal once sent from their ship right before they talk to you.
All right, as he's coming on screen, I'll ask Carpenter if she can go to the comms and oversee its decryption.
I will do my best, Captain. And she sits down and we'll start decrypting.
Then I guess as it comes on screen, I will say, Beskant vessel, please clarify your designation and stellar polity of origin.
The Breen on screen stares at you for a bit. You just see the mask and the penetrating silence of their... And Captain Rex, you hear that garbly noise that comes from their masks, and the translator has a slight delay before it actually starts translating into words you understand. Actually, yeah, because it has to do it through the speakers for the benefit of the bridge. You, as a hologram, could probably get a direct translate. I am Captain Rex of the Belgant Angst. We are currently in the process surveying future opportunities for the Breen Confederacy. No piracy is happening from this vessel.
Haifa will say, we are maneuvering to bring you into tractor range so that we may effect a search of your vessel. If you wish to declare any stolen property, hostages, or enslaved persons on board your ship, I would advise you do now. In the Federation, you would receive less penalties for declaring now than if you attempted to obfuscate such criminal activities.
You are free to scan my vessel at close range. However, I do not authorize military intervention aboard my vessel. Any attempt to do so will be met with force.
Haifa says, unfortunately, that determination is not being given to you. I am asking you peacefully to submit to an inspection. If you decide to threaten a Starfleet vessel with violence, we will have to defend ourselves, though we will take great effort to preserve the lives of your crew and your ship if you attempt to engage in hostilities.
He makes a noise. The meaning of it doesn't translate immediately, but their shields go up, so you can kind of guess it was some sort of generic command phrase.
GM, that roll to see if they made any encrypted transmissions.
Opposed roll, reason engineering.
Oh, okay. Hey, do you still have collaborative
Yes,
engineering so you can
take
give
a
me a
momentum.
5? Okay, so my
And
engineering is 1.
you get a focus in computers because
That'd be close
you're
enough.
using. Okay.
Okay. You said reason engineering?
Yes,
Okay, that's a 16. So we're cooking with gas, and we have a focus. We have 4 momentum, and it's opposed. So that's 1 momentum, 3 momentum. All right. Take this would be 3 momentum, and then it would be all of our momentum and 3 threat to roll 5, I believe. And can I use extra effort and burn some stress for an additional success? That's not how the talent works because it's only for lowering difficulty, so I don't know how it intersects with
I would take that as that. That's
opposed?
how I would
Okay.
interpret it. But I'll admit that's totally a bench ruling. That I don't think
Okay.
by letter. I don't think that's how it works. But that's how I would translate it. So
Okay. So 2 stress, max stress loss for the adventure, and I have 1 additional success. So that's 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8.
1.
As I guess along the way here, we talked about correct procedures to do such a thing.
Standby.
Do one of the other three of y'all want to grab Arias? Because I'm about to need him to break some shields.
Can do. Let's see. Arias. I mean, he's good at that, if I recall.
Yep.
He has Shield Breaker, in fact. Got Arias up.
1 second. And sending updated message now.
Do we have any momentum? I didn't check.
We have 6.
We do. Okay.
Plus a float.
Can I spend 2 to learn what Bolot is?
Spend 1 for that.
Or is that spend 1? Okay. What's Bolot?
That's the self-destruct
Klingon for
procedure.
float.
I was thinking the same thing.
We need an emergency Bolot transfusion.
Oh, Bolot. I thought you were saying Folot. That was where my
Oh
confusion
my
was from.
god.
Folot is Klingon for float.
I apologize. Sometimes I misspeak.
No, that's okay. Sometimes I mishear, so between the two of us, we'll never understand.
And sometimes he mistypes things like float.
Oh, yeah.
I was typing in Klingon.
Okay. Carpenter like spins around in her chair and says, Captain, I believe they've initiated a self-destruct protocol. That believes to be what they are referencing in their message.
All right. GM, do I know how I could, from our ship, disable them so they could not finalize a self-destruct?
You basically have, you could take a shot at their power systems, and if you do exactly 3 breaches on their engine, then the system won't activate properly.
Could I,
Because if you do 4 breaches to their engine system, the self-destruct sequence is now an uncontrolled detonation, opposed to controlled. Otherwise, they're about to detonate next turn. You only have 1 shot to knock them out.
if their shields went down, would putting our personnel on their ship help in any way prevent this?
No, they wouldn't have time.
Okay. So I need 3 breaches to engines, and only 3 breaches.
Exactly 3 breaches. Okay.
Any less and they explode, and any more and they explode.
How to do this, right? How to do this, we'll have you get rid of their shields, and
Yep.
shield breaker specifically doesn't cause breaches.
Doesn't
right?
cause any breaches.
And then the follow-up attack will be torpedoes and a high yield. So 5 damage alone is a breach, high yield is a breach, and then spread will probably cause another breach.
Yeah.
So I think you can do it that way.
This is Lieutenant Arias. So
I'm going to direct Lieutenant Arias to do this. And then just to make sure his shields go down, you probably want to pump some power into the phasers.
Yeah, we can pump 2 power into the phasers.
And because hey Inslee, would you say that Click is on board?
Oh, of course, Click's on board. He's the chief
He's the
engineer.
chief engineer.
All right. So you want to roll those two?
What am I rolling?
I'm giving her all she's got on Click because this is power spend.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And I think we spend 3, right? 1 just to fire the phasers plus 2 because we're pumping power into the phasers.
Spend 3.
It's just 1 challenge die. We'll see.
I thought it was 1 per. Okay, it's not.
No joy.
So I think you're up by 4 dice over the normal phaser shot. Because Shield Breaker increases it by 2.
Oh.
And then 2 power increases it by 2 more.
That adds to damage, not to hit, eh?
Yeah, both of those are to damage.
Yeah.
Yep. So let's make sure Arise hits. 1 for bold and 2 momentum for an additional die.
You know your difficulty?
Oh. No, I don't think we do yet.
I assumed it was 2.
Yeah,
Oh, you're cute. So, they're at medium range.
Okay.
And
Yes.
aiming at a specific system ups difficulty.
I'm
3.
not aiming at a specific system. I'm aiming at the shields, which Shield Breaker allows you to do.
Okay. Oh, so you're just trying to... Okay. Which means you don't increase. So...
Yeah, the cost to target shields, there's actually momentum spend, I think.
Yeah.
I am going to spend 2 threat to increase difficulty on the basis that their shield is kind of is somewhat reinforced, not actively, but by the process of the self-destruction thing. It's their green ships specifically don't want to be rescued if they are a military ship evading board.
Okay.
So this shot is a little harder than it otherwise would.
Spend 1 momentum on targeting shields.
Well, no.
Spend or give you 1 threat for a 3rd die, and we'll spend 2 momentum for a 4th die.
Say again, sorry.
Spending 1 threat and 2 momentum for a total of 4 dice. And a focus in Starship Tactical Systems.
Yes.
And for my direct, a focus in strategy and tactics.
Yes, definitely.
My God. Bold reroll on one of those. 18, 18, 19. Oh, it's because I was rolling reason medicine. I mean, it wouldn't have mattered on those rolls, but, you know.
Oof.
There were bad vibes based off of the attribute and discipline selected.
Can we cover that complication with the trait meticulously maintained?
I'll take it, yeah. Since it was the ship that failed.
I might not be able to, but considering this was a plan created by myself as well, could I assist if we came up with a what do you call it, a stratagem to employ if we come into this situation?
I'd say like Insight Command or Insight Security to help.
All right. Focus in team dynamics.
Yes, definitely.
All right, that's something.
3, and you gained 1, looks like. I believe that's a hit.
That would be a hit, yeah. Correct. Alright, so we have +4 to damage on this shot, and it will cause no breaches. Haifa, do you have ship damage?
I can roll it.
Should I roll that? I just don't have the Da Vinci open right now, so
Oh, okay.
go for that.
I assumed that was the fun part, and that you'd want to do it, but I will do it. No
You
arguments.
go for it.
I don't get to do it.
You get to roll
That's
damage
it.
for literally every NPC ship in the game.
Yeah, but no Starfleet ships. I have to play all the bad guys. I don't want to be a bad guy.
I make a Starfleet ship that goes evil because reasons, and then you're all set.
Yeah, but then
Just
Winchester
cross
will
into
play
the
it
mirror
anyway.
universe again.
Sorry, what? So no. Oh wow, really? 1, 9. 9? I don't know. That zeros the shields.
Damn. Okay.
On the dot. That would have been 2 breaches if you
Okay.
had, but no breaches because of shield breaker.
Yep.
Who knew that
All
was
right.
gonna come up in the future? But anyway.
All
I
right.
imagine you like
So-
you
Shields
have
are down,
the button
Captain.
held on the melt shields, or on
Yeah.
the phaser button for the exact right amount of seconds, and then the second you let go is the exact right time to not break through and damage the hull.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then I will. Oh, can you want to use those?
The
Actually, this is a
versatile?
question because
Yeah.
it's my direct. The versatile's up to me because I could.
Oh.
Because I would spend them on swift tasking for me. He wouldn't spend them on swift tasking for himself.
Because you're directing him, yeah.
Yeah, so spend the 2 versatile on a swift task. Oh wait,
You have
because
another direct?
I don't have another direct.
You might keep instead.
Yeah. I keep them.
But the thing is, we do want to do that, but we have so limited turns that I would hate to waste something that Haifa could do.
Yeah, it's true. True. And we have momentum, so you could swift here do something that's not a direct.
Okay, here's what I will do. I will rally as Hyphus encourages or attempts to encourage people on the bridge, because as much as we want to stop them from piracy, we don't want them to commit suicide. So, right, it's like, let's push a little bit extra. Let's try a little bit harder here because we could probably save some lives. Focus in Starfleet Protocol.
Yep.
Because they are now a ship in distress. Trait of calm under pressure.
Yes. So it brings it down to 0.
Oh, well, hey. What are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
So does the term come back to me, or is it keep?
No, I think
it's
Arias
keep.
keeps now, right?
Yeah, Arias is going to spend 2 to keep.
Okay.
God. Does piercing matter on this attack?
Resistance still exists.
Okay.
So, and okay, GM, do you rule if spread is enough to do a breach that high yield kicks in again?
That's a good question.
Because if that's the case, we don't want to do torpedoes because you'd end up doing 4. You might end up doing 4.
Exactly.
Let me double back on that and find out. I haven't done this.
But oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's okay. I'm used to it. Very well. It's the GM.
I don't know if it's possible to do with phasers. I guess
I don't think we can get
do spread.
3. All right.
Spread and devastating attack.
Mm-hmm.
But you'd need to have really high damage roll. I am double checking. Pend gave this ship the variable weapons.
think you'll find I gave the ship variable weapons.
Oh, okay. I see something like variable weapons, and my mind goes to pinned, not thralic.
What we talk? Oh, high yield. That's what. That's what I. What I space for? Too far. Weapon inflicts massive damage to enemy vessels. If attack inflicts one or more breaches to system, it inflicts one additional.
Oh,
So say your question again. I think I have the answer. I want to make sure I have it right. If you fire torpedoes,
and those torpedoes do a breach. They do enough damage to do a breach, right?
right?
Then high yield would kick in for 2 breaches.
High yield would. Oh. High yield's wording is if the attack inflicts one or more breaches, it does one additional. So it doesn't go each time.
Okay. The clarification that I needed, was that many times GMs will count a spread attack as a separate attack.
Right.
So I didn't know if your ruling was So if your ruling is that per press of the torpedo button, the max you could ever get is high yield to activate once, then that would mean we would max out at 3 breaches, which means we're not going to accidentally blow them up.
Unless you roll a comp.
Well, then okay.
And then we accidentally blow them up in a different way.
Unless you decide that we do blow them up, yes.
Yeah, basically.
I mean,
Alright.
you do have threat. You can't just declare they blew up. Actually, you don't have enough.
No,
threats
he
to
doesn't.
declare
That's
they
like
blew up.
that's like 10.
Yeah.
This is like one of the only times I've seen a game successfully played in which the GM is not just handed wills of threat, but rather is actually really restricted in threat.
So yeah, I think you want to fire torpedoes here.
Yeah, I agree. I want to fire torpedoes. The thing I'm thinking is, do I want to activate precision salvo to add piercing 1 to the torpedoes as well?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so, because we max out at 3, we want as many. Yeah,
extra piercing is not going to cause runaway breaches.
Cool. So 1 momentum for precision salvo.
Oh, so also you're firing a salvo of torpedoes?
Yes, you're giving threat.
3 threat to me.
Does precision salvo actually say that you're firing a salvo of torpedoes?
No, it says whenever you make a torpedo attack. So I guess it's precision salvo could be used on a single torpedo, actually.
You can't spread with a single torpedo.
Right.
Which is true. We would have to do devastating attack. But yeah, I'm not against spending. We can go ahead and do that. I just I didn't know if the talent actually required you to do.
No, it doesn't. Just requires a torpedo.
Because sometimes they'll do things like that.
Yeah.
They'll name a talent in a way that's like confusing.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Some salvo, one spent on that. So we spent 1 momentum on that. Spend give 1 threat for bold. And
diff is the diff is high.
Yeah. 1 threat for bold, and then spend diff 5. Okay.
You're too close and you're aiming for the engines.
Cool.
Actually,
I'm going to spend.
The one thing I'll point out is spread is random. It does so. High yield and the initial hit are guaranteed to hit what you're going for. Spread hits is a random thing.
That's true.
I point that out.
So hold on. Can we not do 3 by
devastating? Engineering tests repair damage caused by this weapon increase difficulty.
That's devastating, not devastating attack.
Well, I read the wrong things, so fight me.
So isn't it if a ship has its shields down, doesn't just hitting them incur a breach though?
Doing any
Yes.
damage beyond their resistance.
Yeah. So and then you get. So if we do
Oh,
that
you mean
plus 5 damage for a breach as well as high
high
yield,
yield? We'll
we
get
don't
3.
need to. We don't need a salvo.
We don't
We
need
just need a
spread.
single torpedo. Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, wow.
So
Fantastic.
minus 3 threat.
Well, I still get 1 because you're firing a torpedo at all.
Yeah, still get 1. And then precise system targeting, was that already taken into account? Or is this diff 6?
What's that you just called?
Didn't we have to target a system
Yes.
for this to work?
So it's diff 3 base, +1 because
Yep.
they're too close, and +1 again because you're aiming for something. So a total of 5.
Got it. Okay, diff 5. Spend 3 momentum and actually I should probably just spend a determination here as well. Yeah, so it's gonna be
Directive 2 probably.
yeah. Spend determination towards directive 2.
Oh, sorry, Directive 1. Directive 2 is assisting Martok. Directive
This
1
would be
is the
assisting Martok.
counter.
Give me a cork board and enough red string, and I can prove how defeating this pirate assists Martok.
Exactly. All right. So spent that. That means that it's going to cost 2 to buy a 3rd die, and so that'll be 2 threat for a 3rd die and 3 momentum for a 4th die. So momentum's gone, and you gain 2 threat.
Okay.
Focus in Starship Tactical Systems.
Yeah.
Actually rolling the correct thing now. 4, 5, 6 because of determination spent.
Plus ship.
Plus ship.
Now, if the Da Vinci really wanted to stab us in the back, this would be the
Go ship, go. I believe in you, Da Vinci. Michelangelo's a hack. Oh, okay.
So we generate 2 momentum off that. And this attack, this torpedo has piercing 1.
Yep.
Okay. It also has vicious naturally.
Yeah. I
And
think.
And you minor action calibrated, one presumes.
Yeah.
So it's more. Well, let's count it off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 damage minus. That's piercing, so nothing. So that's just 9 straight. Which means
straight.
you did any damage for shields, one hit,
breach.
1 breach, and 2 engines because you targeted it, and then another breach because you did any breaches at all. Same system, high yield.
Mm-hmm.
You did at least 5 damage, so that's another breach. That's 3 breaches total to the engine.
Cool.
Which disables them.
I believe that was my job. Engines disabled, Captain.
Captain will appear behind Arias, hand on shoulder, and say, "Good shot, Lieutenant."
Is this literally appear as in face is over there as a hologram?
And then I'll say, Carpenter can. In fact, I think because although you're not directly under Haifa, you are a commander on her ship during a combat situation. So she's not going to phrase this like a question. She'll say, "Carpenter, get a team and secure that ship."
Aye, aye, Captain. And Carpenter, will note down in like one of her notes folders that's just named like promotions ? We'll note down Lieutenant Arias or Lieutenant JG Arias and like put another check mark next to him for okay, this guy needs to be promoted soon. And then she steps in the turbo lift to go handle this.
Yeah.
Gonna steal my shield breaker.
That's how Carpenter died.
Needs to be a full lieutenant.
You can be promoted once and not be taken off your ship. Maybe not twice, but you know.
No, you can do it twice. Lieutenant Commander is perfectly reasonable for head of a department.
Oh, he is head of the department. Okay, well, he is pretty
Yeah.
junior for being head of the department.
Exactly.
See, Haifa's corkboard with red string is all ways to keep Arias, Salak, and Click from ever getting promoted off this ship. They must stay in their
And
positions.
they're all just incredibly junior officers.
I
Despite
was going to say, you don't have to worry about this because
Yeah.
they've got years of service aboard your ship.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mila, though, she can go. I have suspicion about her because of her feet.
Oh my
They're
god.
not real.
They're
my
not
God.
real.
First of all, statement to take out of context for 1,000, Alex.
Yeah.
Second of all, it's just robot feed.
Haifa is prejudiced against people with robot feet, though.
I was there when it happened. It was shocking.
Oops, shoot.
You know, sometimes when a deity with godlike powers tries to kill you and screw with you,
By removing your feet.
well, no, just in general, because like Haifa was
Yeah.
in the accidental death range of whatever he was doing.
Correct.
You come away with weird fixations on how to stay alive. And some of those are like surrounding yourself with people who only have either real or holographic feet.
Yeah.
I am going to call for a control engineering task, difficulty of 3, to beam over a boarding party.
Does someone want to pick up Click because he's already activated?
Yeah, if you want to handle this, I don't know, because we're kind of running along, or kind of approaching the end of the game. If we're running this as full combat, can we spend to pick up a security team with... Are the good phasers type 3s or type 1s? Type 3s are the
Type
ones,
3s.
right?
Type 3s are the rifles. Type 1s are the
Right.
little remote control things.
Can we spend 4 phaser type 3s and body armor on a security team?
You're
What
gonna
I'm
want
actually going to do,
EVA
just to
suits.
kind of save you a bit of resources, I'm stealing a rule from Klingons for boarding action. So you'll
Mhm.
beam over, and then you'll be doing a check with assistance from your ship to bring down one of the main departments of the ship so you gain control of it. That's basically hand waving a running gun battle that happens over the course of 30 minutes to an hour.
Okay, as we take command of part of the ship. Okay.
But the question is, though, even with this sped up system, what department are you aiming for? Because that's where the team is beaming you to.
Engineering took the most fire, right?
Engineering is disabled. That department doesn't do anything anymore.
Okay.
Probably
so-
command then, right?
yeah, if the engineering department's disabled,
That's
then
a
why don't we
department.
just...
That's a department, not a system.
Oh,
That's,
choose a
that's
department.
correct.
Sorry,
That's
it is
correct.
department. I screwed
Okay.
it up. I'm the one who goofed it.
Okay, then yeah, why don't we take over the command department? Why don't we take over the central bridge?
Okay. So you need to beam over first. Difficulty 3 to beam. Someone needs to grab Click.
Kyle, if you want to grab Click. There's Rylov not here.
He might be BRB. Do you mind rolling it?
Sorry, I'm here, but
Oh,
I can do Click. I just was like, oh, Click's not me. Click's... yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh.
And it's like, oh, wait, he had to go. Whoops.
Yep.
yeah, you're fine.
That was I don't do Click. I'm
Oh,
not hyperactive enough to do Click.
You might actually want to do Ensign Canet. She
Oh,
actually
fine.
has a focus in that and a Valiant.
Do you have the appropriate crew support? Do you have Kenneth?
Da Vinci has 5 crew support.
I was meaning in terms of I don't know how much you've
We've
used.
spent 2.
Gotcha. I was, wanted to make sure before I make a fucky wucky. What?
Knet's good at this stuff because she's certified in it.
Now, I
Sounds
don't
fair.
need to suggest switching characters again. However, I would say Nidoden is a transporter chief.
Oh, that is true.
Um,
That
You're
is
right.
probably my favorite supporting character to play. But yeah, Nidoden probably makes more sense.
Also, I do love Nidoden. I didn't make him.
yeah.
And he is lucky. Clearly he accidentally transported you in like the best location imaginable. It's like, oh,
Great
I
chaos.
just thought that was an
See-
empty hallway. Who knew that was exactly behind where they're putting their barricade up?
Well,
Huh.
or you know how like the transporter, you have like 4 or 5 people around like a central thing, right? So that you put that central circle like where the captain is. So just like 5 people beam
Material
around the
around
captain.
the captain, yeah.
Yeah. Actually, is lucky applicable here? Question mark.
I wouldn't say so.
Okay, that's fair.
Wow.
That's fair. Transporters and replicators focus. Shocking.
Yeah.
Games of chance, naturally.
What? No.
Huh? Yeah, we're just putting them in random places in the ship. We gotta hope it's the right places.
I mean, I'll roll randomly and see where they go.
If you do that, does the lucky trait help?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not doing that, but all right, div 3. So we'll give you 2 momentum and a threat. Or no, we'll just do 2 momentum, and we'll do the reason it's 2 momentum is because we'll use the there and back again every time value.
Okay.
Yeah.
Much better in your transporter chief having the value. I can get them there, but I don't know about getting them back.
Oh wait, they've also got the transporter chief challenge. Let me double check what this does.
Makes
Ben
this
for that one.
trivial.
Oh yeah, I may add 2 to threat to reduce the difficulty task by 2. So
You
let's
could
just
do that.
yeah, we'll do that. So it's a diff 1, and I'm definitely making it because I've spent a determination.
Yeah.
But
Comp check
I'm planning
mainly.
to make a lot of momentum so that I can hopefully. So that's 6 successes on diff
Oh,
1.
no, it's diff 0 because you're going to use the sensors engineering, and this ship has advanced sensors.
Oh hey. So we've got
Nice.
diff 0. That's 6 successes so far, and the ship hasn't helped yet. It's 7 successes.
This is
So
why
we're gonna make some
transporter chiefs
advantages,
are a
I feel like.
mistake. Transporter chief was a mistake.
Transporter chief is not a boring talent. It is like one of the best.
It's so good.
It's so
It is
powerful.
very good, but I do think
So-
it's kind of stale. But sure.
What? No, he's just incredibly good at his job. If you want
Okay.
stale, you can beam beams directly into the torpedo tube.
Okay.
In fact, no, we'll beam you into the moving torpedo after it's been fired. That's boring.
Aren't torpedoes like technically really tiny? Am I
We can
like
fit
holding
you in
them?
there.
You fit a
Well,
body
they
in
fit
there.
Spock in one.
Size.
Oh, they
Yeah.
do fit Spock in one. Okay. Okay. So okay.
Isn't there? That's the new Star Trek movies, but they fit the entire crew of that augment ship in torpedoes.
Ow.
That the new Khan one they do. Yeah, all of Khan's crew are in torpedoes.
Ow. Okay.
So let's see. So this is just to beam them across in general, correct?
Yeah.
So like an advantage to have beamed them to particularly advantageous positions.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that that looks like where I would set up a barricade, so we'll put them behind that. Oh look, they're now behind the people that were supposed to stop them.
It's very thorough to set up barricades while you're trying to destroy your ship.
Well, I mean, once their engines are out and they know what's going to happen, like, or where you would have a choke point. Barricade is a loose term here. But yes, either way, that kind of thing. I'm good with that. I don't know about anyone else. No. just
up to
keep the
you.
momentum for doing other things later. I'll keep the momentum for doing other things later. I've done my job.
Sure have.
You know, clearly too, to beam the Breen captain to the Briggs while we're at it. Um, can't do that, I know, but
And then, you beam over Commander Carpenter, one presumes with a security detail of some kind to engage in the boarding action.
And security's 3, so I'm gonna hope it's not just me.
Yeah.
by yourself.
Hey, 3's competent. 3 is a competent security officer.
Yeah.
That's your average security
Like an
officer
entire
you're
Breen
talking
ship.
about. But in that moment where your shields are down, their shields are down, the Shackleton decided to remind everyone why the Shackleton Expanse is so unpopular to be explored, as a surge of energy ripples through your region of space. And for a brief moment, the Da Vinci loses all sensor contacts, and they... Thankfully, you have a meticulously well-trained crew, so although normally I would, for narrative's sake, cause a breach or two, I'm not going to do that because your crew kind of has done drills of this kind before to brace for this sort of disaster. Which, on the plus side, that does preserve the Da Vinci from anything other than the equivalent of a really bright light being shone in your face. But in that moment of blindness, you lose contact with the ship. The question is, where did it go? Because without engine power, it couldn't warp away. At best, it could use its retro thruster drives to move very slowly away from you. There's no way it moved fast enough on its own. Something about the anomaly that just struck you all has moved the ship from its last known location.
So we don't detect any debris field because
There is no debris. No, yeah, there'd be some debris from the initial torpedo impact.
okay, because my worry was if they take a breach and that breach happens to goes to engines, they're now in warp core detonation territory.
As the scene and the episode's about to come to a close, any final words there, Captain? Final orders, one might say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll say, or I'll move over to Mila, and I'll say, Ensign, pull up everything we have on Vin's understanding of the Breen shield or the Breen silent running blocks. They're unique enough, irradiated enough, we can track them that way. As you try to scan out, I'll try to help her scan out in the nearby area for the unique types of radiation that a block inside of the ship would emit, because they don't have shields anymore, so they can't really hide that radiation, one would presume.
There'd be some like passive metal shielding, but yeah, it's a unique enough signature that it stands out against the backdrop of the Shackleton. It's not something you'd normally see in the Shackleton.
Yeah.
But yeah, with that particular disappearance of Commander Carpenter and the opposing forces struggling to enact their Operation Eclipse, there is a lot going in your favor to prevent their mission from being completed and perhaps revealing in its entirety what exactly is going on here. For everyone watching, thank you very much for watching. For everyone playing, thank you very much for playing. And see you again next time. Bye.
Yeah, I like how Carpenter was like, I'm annoyed that my admiral like isn't giving me, isn't like helping, working with me and letting me be an equal partner in her decisions. So I'm going to go do something dangerous and risky to make a point ?
Yep.
And then I guess the point was made of like, well, now you definitely know how valuable I am because I got abducted and now you have to go waste time finding me.
Uh,
Not their smartest moment, I'll say.
Yeah. I think you'll find Captain Haifa needs to waste time finding you.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's not my problem anyway. I'm
yeah,
on administrative leave at the moment.
it was really helpful that Carpenter didn't mention anything about Rylov, because Rylov being Haifa's former first officer and someone Haifa served with a long time, Haifa probably would have tried to go to
Uh-huh.
the assembly and get their,